show.
Yeah, let's do a 2-man show. Let's see, and then as people filter in, we'll say fuck it, we'll do it. You know, that's how it works. That's how it works. So, you know. So speaking of one, there we go. Praxis, what's up, boss?
Hello.
Well, welcome everybody. We are live. Welcome everybody to Wasted with Wize, episode 11, small packages. So, yep, let me go ahead and introduce everybody. No pun.
Speak for yourself, sir. Speak for yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I've been doing good with a small package. I mean, you know, I'm 48 years old. I first got laid when I was 14. So, you know, hey, that's not bad. You know, 34 years of a small package, and it got plenty of wear and tear out of it. You know, more tears than wear.
Say hi to your uncle for me.
Uncle? What? My mom or my uncle?
Uncle Fucker. Is that who it is?
Oh, I love that in South Park. I love that song.
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker.
Fucker. I love that.
Yeah.
You have to understand the whole.
Amazing.
No, you have to understand the whole scenario. Let me illustrate the picture here for you, okay? So my wife is not from here. She doesn't know anything about America or American culture, or you know, for that matter, even Canadian culture. She's from Hong Kong, right? She's same race as I am, but like my parents matriculated to America, whereas her parents matriculated to Hong Kong. So when I met her there and she came to the United States for the first time, I think it was like maybe a month after we were married or something like that. And the South Park movie came out and I took her to it. And she was, and that was the first fucking song she was like, what the fuck is this? You know, what the hell? You know?
Like the movie starts out that way. You're like, oh my God. Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was the first time she read me the riot act.
Oh my God, they said fuck.
She came at it. You have to understand, every movie she saw before this was like this. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Bollywood. Y'all know what Bollywood is?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's the whole genre film, man.
Right. Like you have to understand, Bollywood movies are like 4 hours fucking long, and there's like, you know, there's like this they say always a love fucking triangle, and then like out of nowhere in the middle of the street they start singing, and they fucking like people coming out of no fucking where singing, you know. So
yeah, with perfect dance choreography. I know.
And perfect dance choreography. Yeah. So to go from that to South Park.
Uncle Fucker. Yeah. That's good.
Uncle
Fucker.
Good
shift.
So
it's a good shift.
Or Kyle's mama's a big fat bitch.
Oh yeah, that didn't age well either. So did she actually, to be honest with you, she did like the last song, Blame Canada. So you know, she did enjoy that one. She liked the music to that one. But yeah.
Or is it Hitler and Satan? Yeah, good times.
Oh yeah. She, first of all, she was like, she knew who Hitler was. She didn't know what Satan was. I'm like, yeah, you have to understand. It's like,
oh wow,
I'm like, all you need to know is that it's like this big red thing is ram fucking that guy. So that's okay. That's all you really need to know, basically. So yeah,
it's good times.
I was fucked anyway. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, you know, I'm trying to explain to this woman who doesn't have any appreciable knowledge of South Park, let alone American culture, what the fuck she's about watching. You know, she's like,
maybe watch something else. Just
so naive. Just tell her that anal is part of regular sexual activities. That's what we do over here, baby.
I mean,
got to open that butt up.
I've been waiting.
Welcome triple combo.
I've been waiting 20 years for that butt to open up. So yeah,
you're muted, triple combo. You're muted.
Hey, Triple, how you doing? I know Triple muted himself. He's like, I'm not going to get a part of this conversation.
I was muting myself just to let you guys know I was gone from the mic. But yeah, I'm back. Was anyone talking to me? No? Okay.
Yeah.
We're just saying hi, introducing you.
Yeah, so let me introduce my panel. Welcome everybody to Wasted with Wize, episode 11. And as normal, we are still waiting for a few more people to sort of trickle on in here, so they'll come. And I got a message from Loke saying that he will be a little bit late. I think Cozy's also going to be coming in equally behind him as well. I think their show is running a little bit longer than normal. Got a message from Mr. Bushido. He was going to take a power nap and wake up and come on in. And I've not really heard anything from Cerebral. So yeah, he said he will make it, but I guess he's just running fashionably late as normal. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started, and we will introduce everybody as they come in. No special guest tonight because, well, we don't need a guest because we got all of our guests here. So first of all, before we get started, I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Good God, Lord, Hungry Diablo, Cannabis Guardian. Thank you for coming in. I don't know what "Yeah Diddy, let's go" means. Okay, so yeah, Diddy, let's go. All right, that's what it meant.
Yeah, Diddy,
Exactly.
let's go.
All right. So my first panelist reminds you why Musty rhymes with Dusty. Supernova Gaming, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
I
I never know where he's going as he's doing the description. I'm like, who's it gonna be?
Who he's gonna apply this time?
That dart just landed in square in my chest. I'm all right, dude.
Lawn dart. Yeah, I got it.
All right. How are you doing, man? How are you doing?
I'm all right, dude. Doing good. It's Friday. Fucking yeah, it's Friday.
Yeah, nothing. That's it. It's just Friday. Come on now. It's like, how was your week? What did you do? Are you drinking anything good tonight? What did you play? Anything?
Not tonight. I haven't been playing a whole lot lately. I have been playing some of the Phantom Liberty. I haven't beat it yet, but that's really all I've been playing recently. Is Phantom Liberty.
How are you liking it?
Gotcha.
It's not bad. The Cyberpunk has come a long way from its initial launch. It was never a terrible game. It just
It's
I don't
just
know.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
except for
and-
everybody teeing of themselves in the middle of the game. But yeah.
Any game where you pick up you pick up like in your first mission a naked chick and watch perfect boob simulation. You're like, okay, I like this game. It's a good game. It's a really good game. I'll keep playing this one.
Well, I was listening to a very interesting perspective about Cyberpunk, and I think what was a lot of people were saying, well, what this person was saying, I don't remember the individual YouTuber who did the video, but he was saying that people are trying to make Cyberpunk into something that it's not. Cyberpunk is a CD Projekt Red game, and by default, inherently an RPG at its core. And people are coming in looking at Cyberpunk and saying, oh, it resembles a futuristic Grand Theft Auto. So they're thinking that they're coming into the game thinking that it's Grand Theft Auto. But
that you could walk around, that you can interact with people.
Yeah,
that you can
because
drive a car. I mean, they're basing it on the basic level. You could shoot people. It's you could kind of see that, but it's not. It's not the same game. And I can tell people,
they're not even close.
Yeah, I know. But you're looking at it from the outside. Once again, this is like we talked last time about laymen looking at gaming versus gamers looking at gaming. People from the outside, like somebody would see two games, say like Mario and Sonic are identical. It's probably the same game. It's the same thing. It's like a futuristic Grand Theft Auto, right? Right?
Yeah.
Like, no,
The screen moves from right to left. The same genre.
Game. I like games. Games are fun. I like games.
But I mean, we like, as humans, we like pigeonholing things. Like when things are new, we want to sort of attach it to something that we are familiar with, right? Yeah. So yeah, because that's how we process information, right? In general. So yeah, we're like, okay, so it reminds me of Grand Theft Auto, so therefore I'm driving a car.
Therefore it is.
I'm interacting. Yeah. Therefore it must be like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, like if you had to explain it, like someone explain it and they're familiar with GTA, I would compare it to GTA just because they're familiar with that, but then expand upon what makes it vastly different than car shooty, bang, bang.
Yeah. Also in GTA, you can steal any car you want. You walk up to half the cars in Cyberpunk and it's like, nah, man, you can't fucking steal this car.
Welcome to the future. It must be Metal Gear Solid 4 all over again. Wow.
Better alarm systems is what that comes down to.
It's the future without Kias or Hyundais. All right, I'm done.
DNA encoded entry systems.
Well, speaking of DNA encoded entry systems, the guy who I said would come in fashionably late is here.
Yeah.
So my next panelist.
I'm never letting you enter my system, dude. That's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. No.
Fashionable
means
or
no.
otherwise. No.
So
according to him, you took that $50. So I mean, deal's a deal, bro.
No. No.
So my next panelist, the guy who just came in fashionably late, decided to one day donate his body to science. So when he called science said, "Yeah, we don't take science experiments." Cerebral, how you doing?
You know what? That was weak and that didn't make sense. But
Hey,
That
look,
was
man,
bad.
it's been
That
a
was-
busy
But they don't accept science experiments.
You know.
Yeah, the AI can only do so much, right?
Yeah, don't give me that was a busy week. I'm a teacher. God knows you don't do anything, dude. Open your book to chapter 4. That's the one with the 4. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, I'm teaching math in Alabama, so it's the same 5 problems every week for a whole year, basically. 2 plus
Yeah.
5, 5 plus 7, 7 plus 3, and then next week we do the same problems again because they forgot what 2 plus 5 was.
You got 2 eyes, and then you fucked your sister, and now your kids got 3 eyes.
You damn right. I see them all.
But Cerebral, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right.
Yeah. How was your week? Anything interesting?
I mean, I've
happened?
just been, let's see, between, what everything I've been playing between Cyberpunk, Forza, and Assassin's Creed. No, nothing. Yeah.
Oh,
Just
so
another day.
you actually bought Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, I actually ended up pre-ordering it apparently like a year ago. Forgot about it, but looking at it at the store and it says you own this. I do.
I made that mistake with the Avengers game, man. When that first saw
Oh,
the
shit,
for Avengers
no.
Go Live, I
Oh,
pre-ordered. I
fuck.
forgot about it, and then, like, as time went on, I was like, "Yeah, this game looks like dog shit." And then fucking it went live, and I was like, "What the fuck, man?"
It looked like a really good mobile game.
Yeah.
A really good one.
Yeah,
It was
I
the
really do
generic
need to.
superhero of the video game.
I do really need to write notes when I pre-order shit sometimes.
Oh yeah. That shit happens all the time. Like you see something like on a hype reel or like on a showcase or something, and you're like, "Wow, that looks really good," and you just order it, and then you fucking forget about it, and you're like, "Oh shit, I just bought that."
Well, and in my case, I'm on a very tight budget, so sometimes that surprise $50 or $60 is like, holy shit, where did that go?
Yeah.
And all it says,
I don't pay for shit.
and all it says on the thing is Microsoft. So then I have to go and I have to figure out what the hell did I order from Microsoft.
I need food this week, but Microsoft has my food.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like I'm eating ramen because of Microsoft today.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, and I mean, I want you to save the details for when we actually get to the topic, but in like a concise manner, can you say, is Assassin's Creed, for what you've played of it so far, worth the buy-in right now, or should we wait for a sale?
Depends. I mean, if you like the classic Assassin's Creed sneaky shit, then yeah, it's a good throwback. I will say, without getting too deep into it yet, that I have some issue with the controls because for my handicapped ass, the lack of, again, it's an accessibility issue.
Accessibility issues? Jeez.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Yeah, so.
Well, has Ubisoft done much as far as accessibility or not really?
As far as like hearing impaired and sight impaired, yes. But as far as motor impaired, not so much. And I fall under the last one.
Yeah. So. And that includes the previous Assassin's Creeds. They've all been pretty rough for you.
Yeah. Well, in some ways. Actually, the more recent one's not so bad, actually.
This kind of goes back and is a little harder.
Yeah. Well, because they want you to attack with your right shoulder button, block with your left shoulder, and dodge with the X.
That's why I hated the original control system. I hated the original control system for Assassin's Creed. It was all like that. It was like every button was assigned to like an arm or a leg or something. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Well, and because my left hand side is my bad side, so trying to block with that left shoulder button is a pain in the butt.
It's a novel concept to try to use all the buttons. I get it, but at the same time, it was so foreign and it just felt so wrong. There's other people.
I can't stand when developers decide that they're going to put, the inputs in funky positions on the controller.
Right.
That's like, why is jump the left analog stick? Make it fucking X. Or like it's fucking been since the beginning of goddamn time.
Yeah. The left analog stick button. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Jump
You know what infuriates me with the state of gaming these days? It's like, okay, they always say, oh, you can map your buttons to whatever you want. But whenever you go to remap the buttons, they give you like 3 predetermined options, and none of those fuckers are good,
Well, the kicker is... go ahead.
Okay.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Damn it, don't you make me go first. Now I feel bad. God damn. I
If
wish it was like PC where you could map you could like unmap everything and map it all again.
well,
That
and
would be great.
if I had the super expensive stupid controller that I used to have, no longer have,
Yeah.
you can remap all those buttons.
Yes, and that helps a lot because then
Yeah.
you can do it regardless of what the developer has done. That would help a ton. But yeah, if the developer can do it for PC games where you can basically remap everything at all times for a keyboard that has a million buttons compared to a controller, why the fuck
Yeah.
can't they do it for a controller? I mean, it's less.
Well, and it's a thing is sometimes when you, even if they give you the option to put the buttons where you want them, if they have all the buttons in use, where the hell are you going to put this shit? Because if I'm putting block where I can use it more easily, but then I have to move something else to where I can't use it more easily.
That's what I was gonna say. The trade-off. If there aren't like 3 presets, it's like, all right, great, I can move my grenades to this button that I love. But now your fucking shooting is like, why is shooting the fucking left bumper? This makes no goddamn sense.
Well, yeah. You've got if they give you too many inputs for the number of buttons you have, that's stupid too. Yeah, you're like, oh, I need another controller so I can control the other.
Well, okay, and I get the block thing. What I don't get is the dodge mechanic is key to the X key. Who the hell puts dodge on X?
Oh, that's
okay.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Well,
And the other thing is like when they'll put crouch or melee in a place other than the thumbsticks when there's nothing assigned to the thumbsticks.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, there's nothing assigned there. Why are they not there? Why are they other buttons? It makes no goddamn sense.
And again, Mirage, the crouch is on the B key, which we've seen in other games before as well. But
yeah, B or
but
circle,
they're not using
the
thumbstick click. They're not using the stick click for nothing. Why not?
The stick button. That's stupid.
Well, I mean, everyone here has like multiple consoles, right? So the thing that annoys me is that, well, there's a little bit of follow-up between the Xbox mapping and the PlayStation mapping, because like the down is usually your confirmation or your jump button, and the side is usually your the lower left side or lower right side is your action button or something, your attack button. So PlayStation, Xbox, because of their 4 button input, they keep the 4 button input. But then, like when you go to fucking Nintendo, they swap the 2. Their confirm button is some bullshit like that. Yeah,
and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it's like, why don't you guys give me the fucking control so I can map everyone's buttons to the same thing, so that if I'm going from one console to the another, I don't have a fucking issue in this regard, So
well, you kind of answered that question yourself. Nintendo. That's all you had to say.
Oh my god.
No, I mean, then I say Nintendo because that's the example that I just brought up. But there's been plenty of other times, like on occasion, like with Xbox and PlayStation, it'll be the same fucking game, but mapped to 2 different buttons, and you can't change it. And you're like, what the fuck?
I guess for the ones that I played, they're pretty close, though. I mean, for the general usage.
Well, for the Switch Pro controller, I have to say it's the best Xbox controller Nintendo has ever made.
Yeah.
I know. I'm fucking not kidding. It is identical, and then it feels even better. It like fills your hand better. You're like, oh, this is a nice controller.
Yeah, it's just got a little more chunk to it. It's it's a little thick.
And the feedback in it is closer to what the PS5 controller does.
Oh yeah, it's got haptics.
And it feels a little better. So, although I have to say, I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 on my PS5 because I own the game, so I could play it on any console. And so I was going back and forth. I was able to take my character and all my everything that I've earned with me.
Carry over. Nice.
Yep. And so I was like, it was the first time I've ever done that in a game across cross console. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I was messing with it, and I didn't check to see what the haptics were set for. Oh, if you've played with it, it's like, what the fuck is going on? I went to shoot, and my fucking trigger gave me force feedback at first. I'm like, what the fuck? And I pulled the trigger, and then it gave me a kickback on the trigger and vibrated. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it simulates fucking recoil. I love it.
Yeah, but what's on the controller? Don't simulate recoil. If you know anything about guns, the recoil doesn't. It's not the trigger. You don't feel recoil on the trigger. You feel it on the back of your hand.
Well, yeah, but the controller's now in the back of your hand. It's the only place you can simulate recoil.
The controller is in the back of your hand. You're holding it right here. The trigger's up
Yeah,
here. You feel the vibration in your palm of your hand. Anyway, that's all I'm saying. I had to turn it the fuck off because I couldn't kill anybody. Every time I pulled the trigger, it would bounce
Hey,
back. And I
hey,
couldn't
wait,
pull
no,
it back.
I've done shooters with you. That makes no difference. You still can't shoot anybody.
Oh my god! Just because I was trying to
Darth Stormtrooper praxis.
Damn
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
Dead immediately. It's Meat Shield. That's my middle name.
Well, you guys always you're saying, Darth, about the Pro controller being the best Xbox controller that Nintendo ever made. I actually thought the best controller Nintendo has ever made was the Wavebird. I still to this day think that controller
there's a lot of nostalgia tied to that, and specifically like for one or two games that it made.
The Wavebird
awesome.
for the Nintendo.
It was the wireless controller that they made for the GameCube. Wavebird, and it was, and I would say not necessarily specifically, but it's directly linked to and tied to Smash Brothers. I think that was the big thing. A lot of people like the controller anyway, but that was one of the big things. And for me, I was like, it was okay. It would be neat to have it. The biggest thing is that it was the first wireless controller. Everything else was wired at that point on that system, and it was like, oh, you can untether, even though the batteries only lasted like 5 hours and you're dead. But other than that,
well,
the vibration
between the 64 and the GameCube, Nintendo was just getting weird with their goddamn controllers. The fucking GameCube controller looks like you're playing a game of fucking perfection. And when the pieces popped up, we're just like, yeah, those are the buttons. Fucking throw them everywhere. There's a big fucking circle here, little half circle here.
No, but you don't understand the layout of that. The layout of that thing, right? Like for example, with Xbox, you got X, Y, A, B, and then for PlayStation, you got square, triangle, X, and circle. So with the Wavebird, and the reason I liked it was because the actual buttons were sort of reconfigured, so you don't really have to pay attention to what button you're pressing or whatever. You can just say, okay, you want me to press the big button, or you want me to press one of its satellite buttons. And I think that maybe they should think about that.
That was the GameCube controller design. Yeah, it had a large button, and then it had oval buttons and then a single small button, so you could feel them. But at the same time, I mean, it's
for those of us with big ass hands, that idea felt.
Little fucking yellow clitoris, fucking nub.
I mean, come on now. Like even with this, even back in the day, say what you will, but at least with Nintendo, at least they're thinking about it. Like for example, even with the Super Nintendo, when they brought the Super NES controller here.
Oh, it was a great controller.
Yeah, I mean, because they had the top two buttons were a little concave, and the bottom two buttons were convex. So you knew, so you knew exactly what you were
intuitive.
That makes sense. That one makes more sense than big button, little button, because big button, little button, when you got big hands like I do, are a pain in the ass.
Now, the N64,
it was also nice to be curved and not have those 90-degree angles digging in your fucking palms like
yeah, exactly.
The N64 was interesting because besides the Saturn controller that came out for Knights, it was essentially the first analog controller on the market for a 3D game. And they were trying to control Mario 64 in three-dimensional space, and how are they going to do it? And so they were innovative in trying to find a way to do it. And they were the first ones to really put it out there to try that. Sega
also had an actual trigger for first-person shooters.
Oh yeah, and they tried. It was really great. It was a great concept, and it's really where everybody found
rumble packs.
Oh yeah,
it was a foundation. Yeah, it was funky looking, dude. But I mean, I love the N64 controller.
The magazine-fed rumble pack in the front. I mean, it's freaking hilarious. Yeah, it was awesome.
What was that game? Knights, Saturn's Knights. That game played wonderful with that controller. I love that game.
Oh no, it was great. It was great, but it was kind of like it was three-dimensional space, but it was not the same level of I guess interaction that you would have with like Mario 64. Mario 64 was really the true. I mean, up to that point, what is it? Its biggest competitor was Tomb Raider, and Tomb Raider was like driving a tank. Forward, back, left, right. That's it. And when you played with Mario 64, I remember walking him in a circle, slowly moving the analog stick and increasing his speed exponentially as he's making a circle. It was like, fuck, the amount of control you had.
But did he have big old triangular titties?
He did not, and that sucked. That sucked.
Well, I think it was like an experiment.
Well, older Mario Brothers, he probably would have been an Italian dude. He gets the man boob thing going on, So.
Well, I mean, you gotta give credit for where credit is due, right? For as much as we give PlayStation or Xbox credit, Xbox with Xbox Live, PlayStation with bringing games to the mass market and forefront into the mass market, Nintendo they realized that once they made that shift from Super Nintendo to N64, and now that they're going in and working in a traditional, strictly almost a 3-dimensional space, they had to think about how to control it. And yeah, the controller for the N64 was tri-pronged, if y'all remember it, with the one in the middle.
Complete 2D and 3D games separately. Stop playing with that.
Right.
Yeah.
So did it work
I
out?
have to say though that the C buttons at the end of the day weren't the most intuitive thing. Like at the time, we mastered it because that's all we had. But like I pulled an N64 out of the fucking crawl space a couple years ago. And me and my sister were trying to roll through some Perfect Dark. And dude, back in the day, we were fucking strafing down hallways and running around. We couldn't fucking walk. We're like, dude, fuck this. Back to the attic you go. Because we're so accustomed to a right analog stick, man.
It was
so weird.
I pulled GoldenEye back out and tried it, and I was like, oh my God, how did I play this game?
And then having to stop to aim.
No. You think that's bad? Wave Race 64. I used to love that freaking game with the water physics and everything, but I can't play it anymore because I just can't control it appropriately.
Your brain has been rewired. No shit with dual analog. Like it's totally rewired. You go back to that, you're like, what am I doing? And it's like you don't know how to figure it out.
And dude, I was like, dude, lifelong gamer. Did I played the entire N64 generation? I'm just gonna pull this fucker down and adapt. And I was like, I was like, fuck it, back to the attic. I was like, dude, I could not believe how my brain just was like, no, dude, that's not how it works. No.
Well, I think
right hand is broken. That's not how it works.
I think even when Jay plays those games, when he does on Tuesday nights, when he does Retro Renegades, he opts to use an Xbox controller.
Regular controller,
yeah.
It's so hard to go back, man. It's crazy.
GoldenEye, the Xbox GoldenEye, and the new one that came out. I put that in. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with this? I was trying to find the right control pattern. I still struggled. I'm like, fuck me. Why is it just put the normal control scheme for like Call of Duty in this motherfucker and like play it?
I brought it down and I wanted to show my son the game, and I said, back in the day when I first played this was like cutting edge physics and graphics, and I started playing, and obviously I couldn't play it. And my son was just watching me over my shoulder. He said, "Dad, you're not really good at gaming, are you? You kind of suck."
You probably would have been better.
I'm like, no, I was actually good at this game. Honestly,
playing Pac-Man with him on a 2600 than playing on the N64. Like,
dude,
that was Wize's back in my day, kids. Yeah, that was. And his kids looking at him, going, "You're full of shit, Dad." Okay,
No, I mean, it's just like one of those things that you think that you're a lot better than you really are. Like I mean, even playing those old NES hard games like Ninja Gaiden or Castlevania or Mega Man, like get my ass handed to me, like. Fuck that. These kids these days, I don't know what the fuck it is about these games that they're playing.
Okay.
But
now he sounds really old. These kids these days. Yeah,
but look, the dude, like, okay, Elden Ring, the guy in the
turn that music down.
That Elden Ring, no, you guys, I'm like, I'll tell you a true story. Okay, that Elden Ring, okay, you get out of that big castle and that
and the tree sitting the guy is hanging out.
Yeah,
that asshole on the fucking horse.
Tree sitting, give some respect on his name.
Couldn't pass the bastard. So my son was watching, like, and I said, okay, I got something for you here. Beat him and it was like, just the guy. My character was just newly created. He played around with it about 10 minutes and he beat the guy. He said, "Oh, yeah, it's a pretty good game." And
fucked him up while he was still covered in placenta juice. Just
what the fuck, And I'm looking at him like, what the fuck? I've been trying to fight this guy for like forever and getting my ass reamed, and you just played him for 10 minutes and said, "Yeah, good game," and gave me the fucking controller.
Yeah, I had to come back for that guy. I was like balls deep in that game when I came back. I was like, I got something for your ass, bitch. And even then, he was still a pain in the ass. I'm like, you fuck this dude on his horse.
Yeah. But think about it. You're not getting your ass reamed by this guy, and then this little kid comes behind your back, picks up the controller, plays it for 10 minutes, beats the guy, and leaves and moves on like there's nothing big about it.
He just puts down his Switch, takes his bubble gum out, puts it on the bottom of the fucking desk, beats that motherfucker, grabs his bubble gum, puts it back in his mouth, and walks away.
You're
And
like,
yeah,
you're like,
and the only words that were coming into my mind was prick. What the fuck, you know? I didn't want to call my kid a prick. He was.
You're fucking grounded. What do I do, Dad? You're fucking grounded. Go to your room.
and you're playing some Ninja fucking Gaiden right now. That's what you're gonna do. Get through level 1, I dare you.
Hey, wait a minute. What the fuck are y'all saying? Get off my yard and old man.
No, that's get off my lawn. I actually have used that. I use that on it, Twitter all the time. Get off my digital
old man
lawn.
old man reaction time. What the fuck? FUT. What the hell? How old
I
are
just
you?
seen
to
it,
say
that
old man
motherfucker.
reaction?
Get over there.
Oh, I was gonna say before, back to the N64. The other thing about that console that's crazy to think about is I think that's the first and only home console we've ever had that had some modularity to it, and that it had fucking expandable RAM. Like we haven't had that ever before or since.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that controller was very versatile. Like you could plug in. They had the Rumble Pack. You could plug in. You could plug in the RAM, and I think
No,
it was
the RAM went in the console. In the controller, you had the Rumble Pack and the save thing.
Yeah, you had
you
had a little port on front of the N64, and you're like, what the fuck is that for? And then later on, you fucking drop a RAM pack in there just for the newer games. You're like, holy shit. Look at
Well,
this.
I bought Perfect Dark, and you couldn't play the single player of Perfect Dark unless you bought the RAM expansion.
Oh yeah,
Right.
it was. What is it?
I think they sold it with Donkey
Star
Kong
Wars
Country or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah, Donkey Kong 64 also needed it too, right? I think.
Star Wars Rogue Squadron was the first.
Oh,
game.
Rogue Squadron.
That was the
Fucking
one I had
Rogue
to buy
Squadron,
the expansion pack for me. I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
And it went from 360p to 480p. Like, woo, look at this! These graphics are fucking amazing.
But okay, come on. I want to call bullshit.
Fucking tearing all over the goddamn place, but we didn't care.
Yeah, it was.
No. Okay, I call all you motherfuckers out for that. You know for a well fucking fact that when you were playing those games back in the day, you were blown away by the goddamn graphics. Come on.
Oh, dude,
That's what I'm saying, dude. We didn't care. Like if you look back at the shit, you're like, oh, look at the screen tearing, look at the frame rates. Back in the day, we didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, you were like, look at this! I've never played a game like this ever. The closest you got was the best time of my life.
Yeah. So
well, and I think that was my biggest. I mentioned a long time ago that was my biggest like gripe with the N64. Even though I knew it was impossible, even back then I knew it was impossible. I knew they showed like Killer Instinct. So Killer Instinct in the arcade, if nobody remembers, its intro screen was the fucking N64 logo, but it was the Ultra 64 logo.
Right?
Yeah, because it was supposedly based on the home hardware, and I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna look this fucking amazing, and it comes out, and you're like, what happened? Wait a minute, why does it look this good? And the killer for me is later on in generation in different consoles, Dreamcast specifically, the Naomi board was a Dreamcast for arcade boards. It literally was a Dreamcast in the arcade. And they switched out like their Model 2 boards and Model 3 boards for the Naomi board, which was a Dreamcast. So their arcade games and the Dreamcast were at full parity. They were exactly the same. So that's what killed me, seeing that. I knew it could be done. Later, they showed it could be done. Nintendo didn't do it. Man, I really wish they would have. Can you imagine the N64 generation if the N64 actually looked like the Killer Instinct arcade game? It would be incredible.
Well, I think it was the Dreamcast when home console graphics actually superseded arcade graphics.
Yeah,
or matched.
It's when they matched it. Yeah,
right. Like
Soul Calibur moment. Yeah.
Soul Calibur, when I saw that running like on my local EB games and software, etc. Oh my god,
blew my mind. I love that game. I was just like, oh my god, yeah. That was one of the first Dreamcast games I owned. I bought it day one on was it 9/9 of 99? That's when I picked it up.
I fucking love
the best
Soul
release
Calibur,
date ever.
favorite fighting games.
I there's a version of it I play on my computer. That's fucking amazing. That I plug in my Xbox controller and it's like playing the Dreamcast all over again. I'm like, oh my god, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So
that's what I used before Pornhub was a thing. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. Wet in your face. Like, oh my god, this is amazing.
It's like those tit physics are so real. Come on, Dad. Come on, let's jiggle it some more.
You know, as much as I did like the graphics, I gotta say, one you mentioned earlier, Rogue Squadron, is probably the one that the graphics for me was the first time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
especially being a big Star Wars fan.
Oh yeah.
For
yeah.
when that game first, and it was like the first scene, and you're like, holy crap, you know.
Well, remember, Shadows of the Empire had come out earlier, and it was
Yeah.
all right. And there were some things they
Yeah.
did in Shadows of the Empire were amazing. They did the what is it, the Hoth scene where you could latch and drop an AT-AT walker, and it was amazing. You're like, oh my god, it's incredible. And like Rogue Squadron came out, and it was like, holy shit, it looks so much better than that game. You're like, oh my god, they got to make a whole other game, and it never ended up happening for that system. But it was kind of like in the Super Nintendo era when the Star Wars games came out and you heard the music in it and you were just like, fuck, it's fucking amazing.
Right.
Things like that. Those were
it's not a MIDI board. Those are real instruments, guys.
Oh my god, ActRaiser or something like that where you hear all orchestral MIDI.
Phenomenal.
Or the one, I think probably the biggest moment of console was when I went in a thunderstorm, lightning and thunder everywhere, run to the mall, bought my first copy of Sonic, came home, plugged it in and turned it on. Fucking blew my mind. I mean, silly as it is, hearing it say Sega, my buddy and I were like, what the fuck? It's got fucking speech. Oh my god! And then the game is, super fast. And anyway, shit like that. Those are like those pinnacle moments of gaming that are like still stick with you. Crazy stuff like that.
Well, here's the thing that blows my mind. So as you know, Nintendo has that I don't know what they call it, the Nintendo Online, whatever. So they are bringing all of their past games from their prior consoles in there, and they're adding N64. And every time they add a new console, they release on the Nintendo store the ability to buy that controller. So the N64 obviously has N64 controllers you can buy, but it keeps selling out, and I don't understand that. I don't to this day, like
fucking assholes, dude. they're the cheapest sons of bitches for short fucking shipping things. Like, oh yeah, we'll just send 500 units. It should do.
Yeah, they just don't produce that many, dude, because
They can. They got so much money. The Switch has made them so much fucking money. They have plenty of money to do it to do, but they do it. Think about it's like how they put games. What do they do with those games online too? So they put those games on, and as they put new games on, do you know what they do? They remove other fucking games.
Yeah.
Like, why are you removing games? Expand the library. Like you're paying for this online library.
Remember, this is the same group of people that put things in the vault. So you have to buy them again.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. It's like old Lucasfilm.
The most egregious is that they released Super Mario 3D All Stars for the Switch, and it had like Super Mario 64, a couple other games on it, and it was like a limited release. And
anybody want?
And they pulled the bastard from the eShop as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the bullshit. Yeah.
Darth will sell it to you for 5 times the cost right now.
I'll send an eBay account up. Don't you worry. You'll see it soon.
I think it was 64 Galaxy and Sunshine.
Yeah, and it's like now you get, if you want a physical, actually, if you want just the cartridge on eBay, just getting the cartridge itself without a box is like $70 or $80. If you want with box, you're paying upwards of like 3 figures for that game.
There you go. There you go, Darth.
God damn it. I should have bought 2 of the NES and Super NES systems is what I should have fucking bought, man. God, I kicked myself. I got one of the NES ones at behind me right now.
Well,
just let me know.
Well, let me go ahead and get through the rest of the introductions. Praxis,
we're an hour into the show. Okay,
half an hour. Praxis, how you doing, man? I'm not going to say anything weird because I don't want to be killed in my sleep. So, okay, bro, how you doing? How was your weekend? Have you been playing anything interesting? And have you been drinking anything interesting?
Actually, if I had to fucking drop the drink in the house, I got to go fucking scrounge around and like open the sink up for some water right now. I'm so fucking out of liquid. But
come on, go ask your kids where they put daddy's liquor. Come on.
Where's my liquor?
Yeah. With my condition, I can't even have liquor, so all the liquor is downstairs. I see it all the time. I fucking rum, tequila, vodka, scotch. I'm like, fuck. Touch that shit.
It's there just to tease you. That's what it's there for.
A reminder. Guess what? You're never having again. Good times. It's always fun. Other than that, I've been I tried Lies of P, and I'm much like triple combo. I played it, and I really fucking suck at that game. I fucking hate it.
Hey, I did the
Join
same
the
thing.
club.
I tried it, deleted it after about 20
dude,
minutes, and said, "I'm done."
Okay, I understand it making a game that's challenging. I get it, and I got to the first like main boss at the circus is basically where I've gotten to, and I got there, and I think I've tried it twice, and I got him to where he was like at the very last third of his health before I died. And I'm just the biggest problem I have is it's as much as Elden Ring was difficult to play, this is fucking harder. And not just harder, but like unnecessarily harder. Like the character walks everywhere. It feels sluggish. Everything feels like it takes way too long. Trying to time things with and it depends on sword type and weapon type, but I was messing around with it and just like, fuck, dude, it's just
Hey,
not me.
I got one achievement for doing the perfect block during the tutorial in
There
the
you
first
go.
part.
There you
That,
go.
that was
See?
it.
Man.
I'm done.
The absolute worst with those games is when you fucking use all your goddamn healing items, everything you got, you finally kill
And
that
you're halfway through
motherfucker.
the guy,
And then it's like, oh no, he has a second phase. You're like, nope,
Yeah,
fuck off.
I ran into one of the bosses
Get
like
this
that.
trash off my hard drive.
I fought him for the first time. I was like, God damn it, the first half is kicking my ass, and I got him. I was like, yeah. I was like, wait a second, why is there a cutscene playing?
Yeah, why is he
turning
getting back
around?
up?
And it,
The
yeah,
fuck,
just,
yeah.
This is false advertising. That's what this is. Bullshit.
I don't really like that trope anymore. Like, you have a main boss and then you have like 4 health bars to get through the fucking main boss.
let me tell
or
you
some
about
shit
one
like
boss
that.
fight
Goddamn,
that
bro,
I
fucking
got
Sekiro's
through
Yeah.
yesterday
boss,
in
Jesus
Liza P.
Christ.
Holy shit! Like
What?
speaking of Sekiro, like I did one of the final boss fights, and I fought him enough to where I was like, bro, shut the fuck up, get the other dude out here. I'm tired of your shit. And I was just skipping through the first half.
Oh, look, he
But-
says, "Tell me," and then he walks away. Look at this shit.
But man, there's a fight in Liza P where I was like, bro, I played all the Souls games, and I'm about to smash this controller. I've never smashed a controller before, but this fight in Liza P, I was like, bro, this is some bullshit.
No, am I wrong? Does it feels like I can't roll or dodge far enough for like half the shit you do?
I don't know. I mean, I just know that
Okay, he's back. He's back. Shut up. He's back. He's back. Stop.
I didn't like the demo for
So-
Liza P. I don't know why.
Some attacks do. You have to. It depends on like the opponent that you're fighting. Because some attacks they'll definitely reach in when you go for a dodge. Just follow you when you
if you
dodge.
get the timing for the dodge, you can
Yeah,
dodge under.
but if
things.
they
That's why-
tell you there's a mechanic where it's called Fury attacks when they glow red,
I
and
know that one.
supposedly those
I
are
know.
undodgeable. Yeah, so you just gotta time because
I hate games that also say like, oh, here's your block button, and when you block attacks, you still take damage. Like, then what the
You
fuck
take
am I
chip
blocking
damage, yeah.
for? Oh,
I
you
mean,
take less
you
damage.
can take
Like,
less
no,
damage, and you can
bro.
recover the health. If
I
you
know,
attack,
but dude, it's like a block is a fucking block.
My
Like,
issue
know.
with the game is like
shit.
so far I've had moments where I would perfect parry like back to back, and like, what's my reward? Jack shit. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
yeah. If I block a sword blow, I shouldn't still be taking a half a bar damage. Where's the So I didn't really block it so much. It just kind of slowed it down. What the hell?
You
I-
should
I
take
have
chip
to-
damage.
I have to give Nintendo some really good credit for, and it may sound weird, for like Breath of the Wild for their control, because I mean that's the closest thing Nintendo's ever made to a Dark Souls style kind of
Souls-like.
control.
Yeah.
Because the way that you have to dodge, like fighting some of the bigger bosses, the way that you're running around, the way that you have to dodge and block it, and it reminds me of it. It's not the same. I'm not trying to say it's the same, but it's similar. The way weapons break and
The
shit like
Elden
that
Rings
drives you
and,
crazy.
Elden Ring versus Zelda
see-
conversations come back up.
But no, but just
Yeah.
just quick.
You
just
know,
quick
you
point
know, I
out
wish some of
point.
these games would do it. I wish some of these games would give me the Indiana Jones option, where the guy's coming at me with a sword, he's gonna kill me, and I just pull out a gun and
You
shoot him in
shoot
the
him.
forehead.
Oh, you get a gun.
Yeah.
You get a gun in Liza P. It's slow as you get a gun called the Falcon Eye. It
But
is
it's
slow
garbage.
as shit
It's
to
garbage.
fire. It takes like a full second or two just to shoot the damn thing. I was like,
Wow,
bro, why is it
that's-
taking so long to shoot?
You're like, this is terrible. Well, the point I was trying to get with Zelda is I enjoyed the way that the game play and the fighting loop occurred in that. Even though the difficulty could be, it was not like the hardest, but that was the key. It was enjoyable because it wasn't so fucking hard. You weren't running your head
Right.
against the wall and you were enjoying yourself. And some people just like the fucking, play a game. It's so hard. It's just such a challenge. They love that style. It's for me. Yeah. I play it for
Some
the-
people like to put their
game.
some people like to put their nuts in a vice grip too, but I'm
Yeah,
not
that's-
doing it.
I mean, so at least for me, it's a balance of making sure the game feels fair, to
I
where
don't
it's
give a
like,
fuck
okay, I
about
gotta.
it.
No, no, I mean, for me, it's like it feels fair, so you have to learn and improve. But there's like, I just say like Ninja Gaiden 2, not pointing at you, Darth, or anything, but Ninja
Oh,
Gaiden
no,
2, for example.
I
If
love those
anyone's
old games,
familiar
too.
with Ninja
Oh,
Gaiden
yeah.
2, I couldn't. I tried playing that game. I was like, this game is
I
I
finished
can't.
1 and 2. I never finished 3. 3 was
I
always like,
it was I was making my way through 2, and like the further I got into it, the more it just made me pissed off because it's like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
you have a whole bunch of enemies just spamming projectiles.
Ghouls
What do
and
you do?
Goblins is like that shit, dude. If you
Oh,
accidentally grab the wrong fucking weapon in Ghouls and Goblins, you're
yeah.
fucked, bro.
Oh, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, you mean the second one for the Super Nintendo? Or you're
No,
talking
even
about
the first one.
original
Even the
Oh,
even the first
first
one.
one's a
If it-
bitch. Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
that was a. I think they fucking cheated. I mean, like the best weapon there was a fucking dagger because of the speed of it, right? Because like especially when you got
and
in
you
that
never and you
situation,
always get that one where you had to jump and you have to get the fucking the torch and you get fucked.
right? Or heaven forbid the goddamn javelin. Sometimes like and they were notorious for doing it at that house with those little monsters that would throw balls at
There
below.
were ways,
Like,
there were ways
you
you could
needed
get
a
around
fucking
it, but it was
dagger.
hard. Yeah.
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 And it was like, and then like at the very end, you beat the game, and then they're like, yeah, you
You
gotta
gotta beat it
restart
a
the whole fucking
second
game
fucking time, yo.
with a weak ass weapon too.
I
It's
just
like it give you
considered
a
that
goddamn
completion.
shield.
I was like, I did it. I'm done.
Yeah, it's like if the bitch is still stuck, that's her problem, not mine. I did my job.
She fucked up. She fucked
Yeah.
up.
So like
Exactly.
fucking boss fight with a second phase. This whole game has a second phase.
Yeah.
You haven't
She
seen
was
this
a very-
game's final form yet.
Exactly.
Let me just say that for me, the games like the Sekros or
Lies of Peas,
those
Souls
the
likes
ones
it,
that
so
have the
follow.
that are the fights are based on patterns. Like he's gonna strike, duck, strike, spin, and that's all he does. And you're supposed to learn this pattern to fight. I actually don't like those because to me that feels unnatural. That's like, if you go to a boxing match, the guy is always going to follow up a jab after two haymakers. And that's all he's going to do. It doesn't feel
I
natural.
mean, it's a pattern, but it's not the exact same moveset in the sequence.
It
each time.
switches up. It switches
Yeah,
up. But
it's-
here's the problem.
But like in Elden Ring, it pretty much was they were patterns.
Cerebral,
and it
you
was-
never cared to play Punch Out or Super Punch Out back in the day?
oh no, I played them and I know they had patterns as well. But to me,
That
it
was all
doesn't.
pattern recognition.
Yeah, but it's a
wasn't it?
different kind of. I think he's going after.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of thing. But
Yeah, it's a different.
I'll put it
What
this
I'm
way.
saying is,
You
it
call
doesn't. To
Mike
me,
Tyson's Punch Out. God damn it! Put some
That's what
respect on that name.
well, the one
yeah. Let's put the name where it belongs, right? Yeah.
Right.
he earned it. Damn it! He went to prison for that shit. Come on.
You're
Your
right.
mama
Big
called you
Stroh's
Mike
name
Tyson
on the
Punch Out.
fucking
I'm
box.
gonna talk. Your mama named it Mike Tyson Punch Out. I'm gonna name Mike Tyson Punch Out.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm just saying. So for those that style of games, I don't care for that. I just don't feel like to sit there and have to learn patterns. I understand that they do it for a reason, but if that's kind of all they do and that's their thing, it's boring to me. Plus, it can, when the fight takes 20 minutes to a half hour, it can be really.
It's not just that it's got the
It's
pattern.
a
It's
pattern.
that it's the sponge of fucking all the tiny hits that you're doing. I mean,
Oh,
I'll put it this
Yeah.
way: Monster Hunter is kind of like that in its own way, but something about Monster Hunter draws me in and made me totally enjoy fighting it, and it was way more dynamic, in my opinion, way more dynamic than any of those.
Which Monster
games
Hunter
were.
are you talking about? World or Rise
Yeah,
or
World and Rise, both of them.
Yeah,
Both
well,
of them.
Monster
were-
Hunter
all
also
of
you had the
them.
ability to
Yeah,
knock
I mean,
parts of the monsters off, and that would completely change their move sets and
It-
stuff.
it-
Like there's
it
there's
depends.
way
It
It was
more
more interesting and
variations.
dynamic. It spread out over a larger area. It was a little more open ended the way you can approach things.
approach. Yeah, I
Right.
mean,
It was-
Souls.
yeah.
At least the Dark Souls you had. Now, Sekiro is like you better get good with the sword and learn how to use this damn thing, or
Pretty
you're not
much.
beating the game.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you had,
Yeah.
aside from the Shinobi tools, you pretty much didn't have much for options, so you had to learn mechanics and
Well-
patterns and everything.
Well, I guess I'm more talking about like I spent a lot of time trying to do Elden Ring. I honestly did. I spent like 60 hours, and I just there was no way in hell.
Oh,
and to this day, I still can't do that. Shit.
Darth, if it means anything, later in the game with Liza P, you get like an AI companion to help you with the boss fights. It's not the first one though. It's like maybe the second or third. It's like, hey, you could summon AI to help you now. It's like, oh, that's sweet.
nice. I'm still deleting the motherfucking game.
And if this is like the AI helper you had in like a Trick to Yobi or whatever it was, oh hell no.
I used them a little bit just to see how it worked, but I was like, it's useful. I
It could
just
be a naked playmate for all I fucking care. And I still don't play fucking game.
And the most egregious
Well, maybe I play for
element that they use is like you get this big ass sword or big weapon. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna cut some shit down now. And you go and you kill and you hit the guy and you see like maybe
you're not spec right, sir. You got to upgrade the weapon. Make sure you're using your strength scaling properly. What pisses me off more so is like when you
you're like,
when there's I think like Dark Souls and Elden Ring kind of did it depending on the weapon. You had like armor behind your attacks. And that was the issue with like Demon Souls when it first came out. I was like, I'm swinging this heavy weapon. You got 0 armor. You had no poise, is what they called it.
Yeah.
And in Lies of P, I fought some enemies where they're like smaller, and I'm whacking them with this giant weapon, and I get flinched. And they just armor through. I'm like, bro, I have a great sword. Smack you. How are you armoring through this shit?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. How are you a fucking sword? You know? Yeah. It's
But
like,
I do like
the stats and the specs, and I started getting into it, and I was just, I don't know, after a while, it felt monotonous, and that's the key to me. It's not any anybody that gets and enjoys a game, that's great, but for me, when I get through a point and it gets monotonous instead of fun, I'm done. I'm like,
oh yeah, no, that's fair. Like I said, the boss fight I did last night, I was borderline like, God, this fight is. I'll just say it's a fight where my favorite of any Souls, like, oh, you have fun fighting one guy. Well, here's a second guy in the middle of the fight. I'm just like, great. Now it's a 2v1. And the problem with Lies of P is that if you're fighting a boss, you can only have your Legion arm, which is your little robot arm, and you can't swap that out. You're like, okay, now I'm gonna specialize in a great sword. But then during the boss fight, it's like, okay, the main dude is a heavy great sword guy. But then all of a sudden, a dude pops in with twin swords, so now you're like specced out for. Yeah, so I'm just like, well, shit, my main weapon's not good because I was expecting a one-on-one fight, and it's 3 of them in that fight. It's 3 people that'll tag in. So you have a dual sword, a rapier guy, and a spear guy fighting with a great sword guy. I'm just like, bro,
I'm fucked.
I'm fucked.
It's like I did not sign up for the handicap match, people.
And like I said, like when I was like strategizing, I was like, okay, when a little guy with the dual swords pop out, I'm gonna use the puppet string, which is basically like Scorpion's spear that you can use.
Yeah.
But then I'm just like, well, it doesn't work against the big dude, so I had to spec my character for one part of the fight, but then there's 3 others I have to deal with. So I'm just like, you're having me juggle multiple move sets and items in this one fight. And it was rough. It was rough.
Hey, Paul, I just have to say, how is that different from any other fight, bro? Just
asshole.
Okay. Just saying.
When we talk about actually the fighting mechanics between the player and the enemy, I think, to me, no game has done it better, in my opinion, recently than Horizon. I like Horizon Forbidden West and how they do it. Like, you can literally sit back and, like, if you're finding that Tyrannosaurus, you can say, okay, well, I can either shoot off this weapon piece that they are shooting me with, and I can use that against them, or I could try to go and like one-shot them or something, or cripple them. I really like it. And that's actually why I'm actually hoping that they go through fruition for this like online game that they're thinking about making with a co-op or like a multiplayer game in the Horizon world. And especially if they keep the same elements or the same mechanics.
Did you see the leaked fucking like videos of that shit?
Yeah, when they're swapping characters or something.
No, it looked like Fortnite graphics. It was like,
I was just hoping.
Maybe it's just that early stage where they don't have the proper textures on them.
Right, that's what I'm hoping too.
Cross my fingers, titties, and toes that did some fucking placeholder graphics.
Hey, if you can cross your titties, I want you to turn your camera on, and I want to see this shit. Okay.
Hey, shit! You ain't the only one. We all want to see this shit.
Not my nipples in a little bow.
I mean, nothing else will get us to monetization faster than super twisting his tip nipples and stuff. You know, that's all I gotta say.
Look at this hairy pretzel I made for you guys. You like that?
And they still don't make milk. Oh well. Yeah. So Triple, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. What I've been playing as we reestablished, I've been playing Lies of P, and I'm enjoying it. I really do like it so far. There were some boss fights, as I said, that had me kind of feeling a little shitty. And one of the mechanics, not to go too deep into it, but just to do a really quick example of how it works, is that you can stagger enemies, but to stagger them, you have to get them into a stagger window, which is done either by perfect parrying your ass off or hitting them enough to where they're in the staggered window. The problem comes into play is when they can still hit you while they're in the staggered window. And the
What?
only way to stagger them
Hmm.
is to do a charged heavy attack. So you have to dance around, dodge their attacks while you're waiting for an opening to do your charge hit to stagger them. Problem is the stagger window has a time limit. So there's multiple times where that stagger window is available, which will lead to a critical strike, but I can never do it because I'm dancing around not to get smacked in the face. So I'm just like, this is stupid. Why is it? They just don't stop moving. Just stop them. I did all the work to get them in this weak state. Let me capitalize. It's like, no, fuck you. Get better. So, but overall, I am liking the game. I think about like 11 or 12 hours in, and yeah, it's good. It's good. Souls like, and
Are
yeah.
you going to play Lords of the Fallen?
I don't know when. It depends on the reviews, and even then, I just bought Remnant 2, so I got to get through that first. But hopefully, it's good. The first one I tried playing, I didn't even get past 30 minutes
Is
until I was like,
Lords also a
Remnant from the
Souls-like?
Ashes?
yeah, Lords is
It-
Souls like. It's a
Yeah.
they call it a spiritual successor to the original
Yeah,
Lords of the
it's like
Fallen
it's like
type
it's
of
like a
deal.
remake / reboot of
Reboot.
Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's another Souls like, and at least the footage I've seen, it looks 10 times, 100 times better than the last game.
It's
Like,
also interesting because you have dual worlds. You have the
yeah,
world of the
that
living, the
mechanic
world of the
system.
dead,
So
and you can switch back and forth between them. But if you switch to go to the world of the dead, which you have to get certain pathways to open up or to get to certain secrets and shit, if you want to get to the world of the dead, you have to sacrifice one of your lives. You have to basically, it's like Sekiro where you can die twice before you're done.
yeah.
But so if you want to go to the world of the dead, you have to sacrifice one of your lives to get to the world of the dead. So like it seems like it's going to be really interesting how that plays out.
Hopefully it's a good balance on, because I get
That's
if
always the
it's
thing.
yeah, if it's a reward to it versus you have to do this and now you have to put yourself in a weakened state to progress, that would kind of suck, especially if the other world is like hard as hell. He was like, well, there goes my extra life, and it's still hard as hell. As if I had to.
I don't think they said that the world of the dead is harder per se. It's just that when you're there, you know you only have one life.
Okay,
Versus when you're
so
in the world of the living,
yeah.
you have two lives.
Okay, like I said, hopefully the
So,
reward is there then
yeah.
to because you are handicapping yourself just to not get anything.
Yeah,
But
it's just it's gonna be interesting to have to make those decisions where it's like, okay, do I continue on the path I'm on now with my two lives, or do I fucking risk it, sacrifice a life, and then take that path in the world of the dead? It's gonna take me God knows where. Like it's gonna be interesting to have to make those choices. Where for me that's cool because I don't think I've ever played another Souls like where it was like that. We always had here's your pathways, you go do whatever. It was never where you had to actually decide, okay, what am I gonna fucking sacrifice a life and hope that this pans out, go in this direction, or do I just fucking stay the course?
Probably be like Elden Ring, we have like those limited keys that you use to open like dungeons or something like that. But in this system, it does sound interesting. So hopefully it's good because, like I said, the first game was bad. Like I'm a Souls guy.
Like you said, balance is going to be everything. If it's not balanced well, it doesn't matter how good the combat and all the other shit is. If it's balanced poorly, it's going to fucking destroy the game.
No, exactly. And
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you guys this: do you think that it's just we're like the genre is just getting overpopulated?
Let me think. We got all the Souls games, and there's like a lot of indies. Mortal Shell was a few years ago that came out that was pretty big on that. I would say the genre is it's not overly saturated in the sense of like, damn, this is so many back to back, but it is like it's enough out there where you can say, yeah, this is its own genre now at this point. And yeah, I don't think it's
no. You can say it's its own genre a long time ago, but I think like you look at Lords of the Fallen, Mortal Shell, you look at
Remnant from the Ashes, Surge, Neo. Yeah.
And then there's like another one coming out. Isn't there like another one coming out by Team Ninja as well?
Rise of the Ronin.
We already got what was that? It was I don't think it's Rise of the Ronin. It was another one that came out that was I can't remember the name. It was an Xbox Game Pass. It came to Game Pass as well, but I know what you're.
Wolong,
Fallen Dynasty. Yeah. So I mean, I guess it
And
really
you got
depends.
Wukong coming out next year as well. Wukong, that new one from the Chinese developers and stuff. You know,
I gotta see more before I label that Souls like. But I mean, yeah, it's I just to answer your question, I don't think so. I guess it's less of a question of if it's oversaturated versus if we have multiple games that's just not unique and they're all terrible. And at least Mortal Shell was okay. Neo 1 and 2 were pretty good. Wolong, I haven't put enough time into, and like I said, Liza P is pretty good. And they all, at least the ones, they've all had their own unique mechanics added to them versus it's just a Dark Souls like. But I don't think so.
yeah. I mean, I was just like, thinking that, back in the day, it was only From Software making those types of games, and now you got everybody else doing it. So the interesting thing is going to be what From Software does in their next offering in that franchise, and what they're going to do to sort of separate themselves from the herd of other games that are coming out in that genre.
All I gotta do is just stamp From Soft on the box, and there you go. That's all you
Yeah.
do.
I think the bigger question for FromSoft is going to be like, okay, for their next game, do they maintain an open world, or do they go back to the more linear type of here's your world
Linear
to go
open-ish.
through?
Yeah.
Right? Like, because with they have never seen the success that they've seen with Elden Ring.
Oh yeah, that was.
I think it's going to be hard for you to sit there in the fucking FromSoft board meeting and go, yeah, let's go back to the way we did it in fucking Dark Souls. They're like, no, shut the fuck up, Lee. Look how much money Elden Ring made.
Lee? I mean, I would like to, before we see another Souls like from them, I guess depending on who you ask, I want to see another Sekiro. Like Sekiro's is it was
my
so
favorite.
good. Like
Yeah.
It was probably second only to Bloodborne, probably the most refined Dark Souls or Souls-like game out there. Sekiro.
I love the speed of the combat.
Yeah, it was more faster paced, and you had tools and you had your options available, but they were way more limited to where they push you more towards you had to learn a certain play style. And of course, you had your different hunter weapons and your guns and some of your abilities in Bloodborne, but you couldn't say, I'm a magic guy, I'm gonna sit back here and spam magic or miracles. And similar with Sekiro, like you had your shinobi tools and techniques, but you had to learn how to dodge properly, parry properly, and all the other things. Like even they had a shield in Bloodborne, it was a wooden shield. It's like, yeah, you can't really block like you could before. Like you had to play a certain style.
There's also way more verticality to a lot of the levels where you can do the attacks from above and shit that you don't really have in a lot of the other Souls games.
Mm-hmm. Plus the interactions with the shinobi tools where it was almost like a puzzle in itself where you had to fight certain bosses and figure out what tools work the best, like with the great ape and how you can use the spear to help weaken that. And it was I'm not even gonna rant about how good Sekiro is, but I just want to see another one. Like the game was so good.
That fucking ape, dude, man.
Fuck that ape.
To be honest with you, Sekiro's world was very rich, and I really liked it. I would love to have a game like Sekiro, but built in like a style like Elden Ring, where it's open world a little bit. I would love to explore just the environments and everything. I mean, Sekiro was a little bit
open world, fantasy, feudal Japan. Open
Ubisoft
world.
is like, did someone say Assassin's Creed Red? I don't. I'm joking.
Well, they're doing one in China and they're doing one in Japan, aren't they?
I think Red's Japan, and they did what were the Chronicles? Did they like Chronicles China or something like that?
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, there's speaking of completely different games, there's I guess there's 2 more Yakuza games coming out.
Infinite Wealth and
Infinite Wealth, and then like a
Dragon Ishin. I think that's already out.
No, Ishin. There's another Like a Dragon game. It's the sequel to the other Like a Dragon game.
I don't know.
There's Infinite. Well, there's 2 more coming out. Are
they both RPGs?
It's the sequel to the prequel of the sequel.
Because I think I think they said it's a story because it was Infinite Wealth is a continuation of 7, and then there's like another story where you're learning what Kiryu did in between or something like that. I haven't played 7, so I don't know.
I know I haven't played 7.
Have they strictly But have they strictly gone into a turn-based, or are they still doing real-time fights?
I don't know. I saw like a clip of 8, and I don't know if it's still turn-based, but people were making a joke how Kiryu's in the game. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm the main character. We going back to the brawls." I was like, "Does you use Kiryu? He just goes from a turn-based to a brawler because that's his play style or something? Like, what are you guys doing?" I gotta look at the gameplay, but yeah, it looks fun.
Well, I mean, the turn-based was fine, but I still think I've always liked my Yakuza's more like real-time as opposed to turn-based. It reminds me of more of the Shenmue than the turn-based. Turn-based, just there's something about like as y'all know, I love turn-based RPGs, but it's just something about Yakuza
Picking
being
up a
turn-based
bike
that
and throwing
It didn't
bikes
quite
and
fit.
grappling and
Like
Yeah.
a Dragon, Gaiden, the man who erased his name. That's
yeah, I think
day
that's the
one.
one where
That's-
Kiryu. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that one. And Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth is the other one that comes out next year. So it's 2 coming out within, and Ishin came out this year as well. So it's like 3
The
and
feudal
2
Japan
years.
one or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that I own that one. I played like about 20 minutes of it. Freaking. I'm enjoying it, but it's just because it's all those characters put into feudal Japan. It's kind of cool.
All right, so let's go ahead and get
All right,
started with our
we had
topics.
topics. Oh
I
shit.
guess.
Yeah, we do have topics. So yeah, let's go into our topics. But this is how our show
Let's get a
rolls.
topic going. Come on.
Well, yeah, this is how we roll on our show. We don't care as long as, hey, look, our thing is that we want everyone to come in and just sit and shoot the shit, and that's what we do. That's what we do. All right. So yeah, no harm, no
It's
foul.
like was it? I listened to like a lot of Sacred Symbol. This is exactly how they do it. An hour of just random stuff. And it was like, oh yeah, topics. I was like, yeah, let's hear it.
Whatever.
Well, we got
Sure.
first a small topic in the beginning. Controllers aplenty this week. Xbox with Shadow Drop, no pun intended. Well, pun intended. Their a new controller collector's edition. Apparently, it's a Shadow Gold controller. I guess is the name for it. Yeah, that's the picture on the screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
And PlayStation, you can officially now order their Rare Earth or Good
Oh,
Earth.
you got some
Yeah.
options. Look at that.
Well, these are the older ones, but like for example, this is the new blue one that they're coming out with, and there's like that red one, volcanic red, or they called it like that right there. So yeah, there was a whole lot of new controllers.
It's fucking always the color you want, but not the color you want because it's red, but it's not red.
Yeah.
It's like
Exactly.
pink. It's like fuchsia.
It's like, what is this fucking burgundy shit?
Well, the only one I was really
Then-
intrigued. The only one I was intrigued about was this gray one. I thought it was more chrome, but maybe it
That's
doesn't
silver. It says silver right there. It doesn't say gray. It says silver. There's a
Well,
difference.
It looks like a regular DualSense went outside and got a fucking suntan.
Exactly. It didn't.
Gray. Looks like gunmetal gray.
I don't know.
Like
It's just
Camaro.
It's a color.
Yeah.
PlayStation color
I
offerings are just
recognize
so
But
fucking
here's my-
boring and uninspired.
Yes,
Where
Wize,
are the
I have
controllers
arrived.
with cool patterns and cool designs? Where are the controllers? I mean, yeah, the Spider-Man one is cool, but even that one is pretty fucking simple. Like, we do some interesting shit. I'm so
we
tired
got
of
this
how boring
one.
the controllers are.
LeBron James. Sorry.
They
What
got
is
the
that
LeBron
for?
James one.
LeBron
Is it
James.
LeBron James?
Nobody gives a fuck, man.
LeBron James.
That threw me off for a
I
second.
fucking couldn't
Yeah.
help it.
And it's $5 extra compared to everything else. Like, oh
I would laugh in someone's face if they handed me their LeBron James
Oh,
DualSense
Jesus
to play a
Christ,
game.
I
I'd be like,
Did you let your
put that
kid
shit in a
play
fucking
this with
drawer.
fucking crayon or
You
something?
should-
Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
that's what I'm saying. That my 13-year-old can design a better fucking controller than this shit. You come on.
That,
now.
that looks like a controller for like the newer Need for Speed games where it's all just fucking
nothing
graffiti
is
and craziness.
over. Everything is earned.
It's
Why don't they do? You know what I miss?
It looks like a meth head got his hands on a controller.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta write some shit down.
Scribbling the directions to where he fucking left his meth, so when he fucking forgets, he remembers where it was.
Well, you know, I got this case for my phone and for my iPhone case, and it resembles the iMac. And back in the original like iMac,
Yeah,
was-
I remember those. Those were dope.
Yeah, and I really like this see-through, clear coloring type thing. You know, why don't they do that for the controllers? I mean, you know, so there's so much tech in the controllers. We want to, as gamers, see
back
that
in the
shit.
old days, the old controllers you could see through, like the Nintendo controllers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah, that would be.
Oh,
cool.
you want interesting? You don't want primary colors, bro? You don't want fucking pastels?
Do you know what would be cool? This sounds stupid, but why wouldn't Xbox release a case? Because you know how generally how easy you've seen them take it apart. It slides off, right? Why couldn't
Right.
you get a case that drops on that's like the old Nintendo 64 controllers that's colored and clear so you could see the internals. I think that would be
Exactly.
fucking cool.
Dude, did you see the fucking wraps the fucking Xbox announced for the Series X?
Oh shit!
You mean
don't
the
get me started.
Starfield one? That
Fucking
Starfield
whatever
one?
the hell.
Yeah,
it was.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I was like,
Starfield,
I was like,
$50
what
or
is this
something?
bullshit?
You know,
but then again,
Xbox is
why
nice and
but why is
stuff.
that any different than like we for the 360 we had the faceplates, and don't tell me y'all didn't own at least one or two different faceplates.
No,
Oh,
I
for
no,
the
the
damn
face
thing.
no, but the difference is it was an actual fucking part that came off the console and you replaced it
this is
with
like-
a new part. This is
Yeah.
it looks like it's fucking just cardboard that's wrapped in vinyl.
It's
not-
not
just
cardboard.
slapped
It's
around.
actually made of decent material, and the one reason I would consider
I'm just saying
getting
that's what it
one,
looks like.
the one reason I would consider getting one is it would protect the console from.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say because you could take it off. Yeah.
Well, no, shut up. No, because it would actually protect the case of the console itself. So
This thing.
RPG 88 is like that console presses.
It's a fucking console Barbie.
I mean, I'm sorry, it still looks better than the.
I don't know why I just thought of like two like game bros getting together. Like, oh my gosh, look how I dressed up my Xbox.
Did you see what I put on? It's got daisies on this today.
Oh no.
And then the problem that I have with Xbox is like every other fucking week they're releasing a new goddamn controller.
It
That's
feels that way,
inefficient.
doesn't
It's,
it?
it's
Like,
not
how
even
many-
just controllers, it's controllers and fucking nail polish and fucking shampoo and dolls. It's like, what are you doing? Nobody's buying this
How much
shit.
are you
dude.
just-
Well, actually,
this.
that's the thing. People are buying them. That's the thing.
Yeah,
So I mean,
somebody must be buying that shit.
No,
I
the
mean,
controllers 100%. All the other shit, no. Controllers,
Make a
I know
Series
people buy those things like crazy.
Oh, make a Series X fucking microwave with a green fucking light. God damn, that would sell like a motherfucker.
I don't
swear to
know.
God.
I'll be
Yeah.
concerned if like, is it
Bro,
green or
watching
blue or, like-
people line up on fucking Twitter for that goddamn mini fridge. I'm like, are you guys fucking retarded?
I mean, I'll be
No,
honest. If I didn't already
no,
have a mini
the worst
fridge, I
part-
wouldn't
the-
mind.
the fucking
It holds 1.5 Diet Cokes.
Yeah, it like barely holds like 2 bottles of
Oh,
water.
no.
And when it refrigerates that Diet Coke, it sounds louder than the PlayStation 4 Pro when they got a game inside. You know. So,
Hey
Se-
man,
and the
PS
second you open it
PS4
up, it
Pro be
just
fighting
sucks
for his
all the
life,
cold
okay,
out of
come
it.
on.
Oh,
Takes
God.
another 3.5 hours to bring the fucking cold back in.
and the icing on the cake was like people were scalping that shit for like $500 on
People were
eBay.
scalping
People were
every
buying
damn
that.
thing. It was a crazy time, man. People scalping every damn thing. Like,
Fucking
it's like-
who's scalping?
No,
Who the fuck
the
buys-
full size fridge. You see that shit? The full size fridge. That
Oh,
shit
I-
was,
it
I mean,
was-
I wouldn't have bought it, but that was actually kind of cool.
Oh, it was a
But
contest.
I wouldn't have
right?
bought
That was
it.
an
It was
interesting idea.
to win it. I think it was a contest. I tried to win it because
Yeah, but it was like a full size Series X.
Oh,
fridge.
yeah.
That shit looked pretty cool, and it had the fucking the logo lit up and everything like the
Oh,
actual
yeah, it was
one.
badass.
Like that was
Hey.
kind of cool.
just so you know, they sent me a pair of Xbox socks. From the ambassador program. I got the Xbox socks.
So
I also have an Xbox towel. Okay, just so you
Actually-
know.
No,
So
no,
what
but
you're saying
actually,
How long did it take him to
He's on
fucking
it
turn him
purpose.
from green to white?
No, it went the other way around. Went from white to green. But
Actually, I am victim of buying something. They did release on the Xbox Gear Shop some of those old 360 hoodies with the little rings and everything. It was a white hoodie with the rings on it. I actually bought that for nostalgia's sake. Because I
Yeah,
remember
but
back in the day when it came out.
apparel is one thing. Like apparel,
Right.
it doesn't matter what it is. Like apparel, if it looks cool, you can go out and rock your brand or whatever. That's one thing. But when it comes to these like actual things that you put on your desk, or like it's just like I don't understand half these items they're releasing. Controllers I get, even though I think they have way too many goddamn controllers. But all the other shit, it's like, dude, who's buying these baby dolls? Who's buying the
Yeah.
Xbox colored nail polish? Like what? Why are you wasting time making this shit?
They fucking released a hoodie for your controller. Do you remember that?
Well,
They released it.
You've got to realize too, they're not necessarily spending time making it, but companies are reaching out to them or whatever and saying, hey, and they're saying, sure, why not? No skin off our back. And if they sell, they make money. And if they don't, okay. I mean,
I guess, but I mean, when you're $1 trillion company, I mean, it feels weird. It's like, dude, like focus your energy on other shit. I mean, they're still doing what they're doing. They're still making money and shit. Obviously, it just I don't know. For me, it's strange. When I'm looking at all these products. I'm like, dude, who in your Xbox target audience honestly cares about the baby dolls or these other products that they're marketing. I don't understand.
Some people do. I mean, and and more you got female gamers, and they want the nail polish, and they want the dolls, and they want
Even there, like, what the fuck is up with this shit?
I'm just curious on how much it works because I'm like that is marketing funds that could maybe go towards other things.
it is definitely marketing. So what the hell?
And one thing I will say for Xbox that they do definitely have an issue with is marketing their games. Like PlayStation markets their games and does it well. Xbox doesn't seem to like. They'll have a big game that's releasing pretty soon, and it's like, where the fuck's the marketing for this
Doritos.
shit? Oh yeah, it'll be on the can of Pringles as you're walking down the fucking snack aisle. It's like, where's the big marketing campaign for your big first party game?
Or on a cereal box.
Yeah.
You mean the old days?
Or Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew had they all had. I mean,
$1 for a month of Game Pass on your ding dongs.
But putting that stuff on Doritos and soda cans specifically speaks to the gamer, because hell, that's what we're gonna get.
Well, maybe their logic is okay. Well, we've sort of freed them up from buying the games. Maybe they can buy the merchandising behind the games. So maybe that's their thought. Like
maybe it's just I just feel like there's just there should be big marketing games to push. First of all, push the sales of these games to maybe make people want to go out and buy them, and just to let people know, hey, the shit's coming out.
Well, I mean, no, if you look at the Xbox controller, right? It's like $70.
No, Paul, you're misunderstanding. I'm not saying that people aren't buying the game. I'm saying that people are obviously going to buy the games, and there's people who are just going to get it on Game Pass. But if they had a larger marketing push, they may be increasing the people who are actually going to go out and buy the game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, more eyeballs equals more asses in the seat.
Yeah,
and, that's the old saying. It's like, come on, get people interested. And I agree, they should be really pushing out there. I remember the original
for their big first party games, especially.
Well, remember Gears of War's first commercials? Fuck, those were
those were phenomenal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have
the fucking that Mad World trailer, dude. That is iconic. Iconic.
Yes. That is the best game merchandise. I mean, that's the best advertising I've ever seen. Ever seen for any console.
The best one I've ever seen actually was the one for the first Dead Island, where it was the entire sequence of events playing in reverse. You had no idea what the fuck was happening.
That commercial.
That first Dead Island trailer, right? And the game looked like straight up Dookie sauce, but that trailer looked amazing.
That's all I gotta say. Done. God damn it!
The best commercial was the old Legend of Zelda, where this guy in a black shirt was just going up around saying pea hats and levers and all that other crap, and nobody knew what the fuck he was talking about.
By the way, here's part of the change. So nowadays, people don't watch commercials. I mean, they
fucking do.
They really fucking don't.
Every time they turn on a goddamn YouTube
there's
video,
literally billions of dollars.
But no, you're not understanding though. It's not like it was because of the fact that YouTube or whatever does it. But do you pay attention to those things when they come on, or do you know they're coming on and you kind of like phase out?
If it's something that's interesting,
it doesn't matter though. Like the company spends billions of dollars for commercials, even if we're not paying attention to it, because some people are. Just like
but see, they're not putting that. What I'm saying is they're not putting as much into it as they used to. In the Super Bowl, it's a standout event. Any of the major events are standout and they're different. Okay, so you can't compare a Super Bowl or a national finals like to every other day on TV or whatever. Those are
true, but you can't deny the kind of influence that a constant barrage of the same commercials pushing against you all the time, every time you do something. And then when you think about something, you're like, what should I do for this? Oh, and the fucking commercial comes to mind.
No, actually, that's actually a balance, because I was watching something the other day, and I was watching the football game, and it was on ESPN, and all it was between all of their commercial breaks was everything that was ESPN, ABC, or Disney related. After like the third break, you absolutely zone out on that shit. Because that's all they're showing you.
Well, they show the same thing over and over again. I mean, I got Hulu. Every service I have besides Netflix for now until they switch. Has commercials, and except for Hulu, I think I pay for not having commercials. And what was it like? HBO, any place you had to pay like premium for it. But anybody else, they have commercials. All of them have commercials.
But
All
they're
of them
they're
push
commercials
commercial.
they're commercials for their own related products.
No, they're
They're
not.
not. They're not
No,
commercials.
not for
They're
Hulu.
they're-
No,
they're-
not for
they're-
Hulu.
they're
No,
not
no,
com-
no, no, no.
they're not commercials for Palmolive or whatever.
Oh yes, they are.
Yeah,
No,
they
they
are,
don't.
dude.
Yeah,
They
they
are.
are.
You watch
Yes,
Hulu
they are.
definitely. Hulu,
No,
yes. Hulu,
okay,
yes.
all
no.
regular normal commercials. They're all commercials for like cars. And fucking
How do you think I
products.
watch all my TV? I'm telling you, no.
Well, maybe it doesn't do that for you, but every fucking day I turn
Yeah,
on
it does,
TV
does it
show.
for me,
it-
dude. I'll
every-
watch the
No,
same
No,
fucking ad.
I advise you to
dish soap.
pay attention to what you're actually looking at, because
My
if you're
daughter's
looking,
dude, Jesus Christ. My daughter's number one channel she watches on our television downstairs is YouTube. Number one. So every time I go in, there's a commercial going, and they're all commercials for products. They're all commercial things. I would say the number one commercial that I see is for fucking drug commercials for prescription.
oh wait,
drugs.
wait,
That's
did you
number
say
one.
wait, did you say Ubi? Did you say Ubi?
No.
Tubi or
What are you
whatever?
talking about?
Those are
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
I said YouTube.
Yeah,
YouTube
most
is
of
the
those are
number one-
drug. Most of those
No, no, no,
are like you
No,
said. They're
YouTube channels are the normal commercials. The ones that I see mostly are drugs or Paramount and Peacock and fucking Hulu. Those are all like the big.
Where are you
pharmaceutical
seeing
companies.
normal commercials on YouTube?
On YouTube?
I-
fucking every video. Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Every video makes
Okay,
you watch.
okay,
Unless you
okay,
have
fine.
premium, unless
Okay,
you have
that's
premium,
fine,
then
that's
you don't
fine.
get it.
That's
what I'm
fine.
saying.
We've
There's
established
constant
cerebrals from the multiverse.
Yeah, we see a barrage of commercials regularly, is what we're saying. And seeing Xbox walk away from the ability to put that out there. I mean, Jesus Christ, Nintendo's
They
throwing,
don't.
like-
If anything, I've seen Starfield commercials like every damn day.
I've never seen one, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
I
I
swear to
haven't.
God.
Yeah, actually, I've never
I
seen a
think-
Starfield commercial.
saw
I've never seen it.
Apart from the ones I've
the-
actually
Or
seen.
let's
No.
think about like for
Without-
the first Spider-Man game where PlayStation fucking painted the
Yeah.
goddamn or they
Oh,
skinned
you
the
could not
goddamn
get away from
trains,
it.
bro.
Yeah, and
Like
and you go
everyone's
to
riding
every
the train.
Even,
Millions of people.
but you're
see
talking
that
about
shit every
Spider-Man.
day.
Spider-Man 2 is always in my face all the time
every
now. Every time I
commercial-
click something,
every
you
movie
know?
you go see, you see like commercials for that shit too in the theaters. For fuck's sake, you're like, oh, the Spider-Man. Oh, there's this.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Tears of the Kingdom, for fuck's sake. But they didn't have
Yeah.
not a single fucking Xbox commercial. Well, what the fuck? Where are those? Where are those at?
And
So
of,
I
and
don't
of
know.
all three, Xbox has the most capital to be able to spend for
Oh
marketing
God, yeah,
pushes
they have the most of anybody.
easily.
And they got
Oh,
good.
yeah.
They got games they can hype up. I mean, you got
Well, yeah,
Forza
they've
is
got a whole
really
bunch
good. They
coming,
got
too, so they should-
Starfield, and they got so
it's
much
just-
more coming.
Well, I mean,
I mean-
Forza, talk about a missed opportunity. It's like, man, you got they should have been advertising it in front of Gran Turismo, for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That would have been
Gran
perfect.
Turismo the
Yeah.
movie, put the fucking Forza game like commercial out there on theaters. That'd be great.
Exactly.
That was a Sony movie. They probably wouldn't have been able
It
to do
doesn't
that.
matter. You could still.
Yeah,
fucking- the
it no,
theater-
it does.
the
It does
theater-
matter.
The theater puts
Yes, the
commercials up,
theater.
and they're
Yeah.
reels. Sony doesn't do it. They don't put the reels together.
No,
They
but it
put
could be in their
they put-
contracts. It could be in their contracts.
I doubt they would even pay attention to that. Honestly,
Sony
I've
would.
seen-
Sony
I've
would.
seen a Nintendo commercial in a Sony movie.
Yeah,
like,
I've
before.
seen
So I
ads
know
for
they-
Nintendo
yeah.
games.
Okay,
and shit.
okay, go
The theater
ahead.
makes
You're
the
fine.
decision. The theater
Go
makes
ahead.
the
You're
decision for
fine.
all of that.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
So y'all remember controllers? Go to
No.
I would go.
Well, and here's the thing that I also want to talk about on this regard too with the controller. Like, okay, with Xbox, right? And this is the thing that this is kind of weird in this whole regard. They keep releasing these controllers and these special colorways, but then on top of that, they got a fucking that design lab shit too.
Yeah. I never
So,
understood it
like-
either. It's like why you're releasing special color controllers if we can make them ourselves?
Because
Design lab.
not everyone knows how to make a proper
Oh my
controller.
god, you
Thank
have
very
to
much.
come in and yell. Holy shit.
You know that's how I do, Paul.
Cozy look. And for Jim, can you say something for a goddamn change? You're always
It says
say shit.
error 404.
Yeah, he
You
said
know,
it, something.
he's botting out.
Alcohol not
Something.
found.
But that's how they do. They you basically not everyone's creative. Have you ever discovered not everyone's creative and you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Like you ever
Plus,
discover
some of
not
the,
Anyone
Well,
sees
well,
this
well,
shows
Yeah,
that I'm not
but
creative. so
Cozy,
there
we're
you go.
talking about solid color controllers. You don't have
no,
to be that
no,
creative
I don't think you
to make a
understand how
solid
some
color
people
controller.
absolutely lack imagination when it comes to creating anything.
Whoa,
What is
Purple.
the green?
How
You
the
just
fuck
call
did
it
you
the
come up with that? How did you imagine purple? You fucking genius.
No, but there are literally people who don't have any sort of imagination, so they couldn't even fathom.
I'm
Bullshit,
sorry.
man.
That's not true. That is not
Oh,
true.
no.
That
I
is
am so
absolutely
sorry.
true.
That
That's
is
I will
absolutely
not
say,
true.
true.
at least when it
Bullshit.
comes to their designs or the controllers they make, they're not something you can find in design labs. So I guess there's that.
Yeah, but that was
going on
that's
for
just
something.
that's like that.
Not
that's
everyone
what
wants to.
false-
Some people just see a cool controller, they want to buy it, and they don't want to go through making their own controller. That's the reality.
The best golden controller that Xbox ever released was on the 360. That's
Your
I gotta
mom's
say
golden
that.
controller was good.
My mom's golden dildo. Yeah, it was good. My wife
know.
uses it now.
But
That's the story.
I definitely get where you're coming from because I'm trying to think like I see
Why
more.
does it taste like sour?
It was a hand-me-down, quite literally a hand-me-down.
Sorry, Triple.
Oh no!
Jesus
I was
Christ.
gonna say like I see more control like adverts for their different controllers versus like design labs. Like I understand that everybody wants to design one. Like I got this whole other part of your
That's the
controller
thing.
space that I just don't really. market.
So I think the thing is about the controllers that they come out with are tested. Not the controller itself is tested, but basically they use feedback and advertisement to decide this is a controller that would sell well in general, as opposed to
Really?
design labs.
Really, and all they came up with was a big-ass purple grimace-looking controller.
Yeah, and they decided it would sell well. And then the thing about a lot of the Xbox controllers is they only have them available for like a limited time, and they dump them, and then on to the next one.
Yeah, they dump them and they sell for like $40 at a Best Buy or some shit.
That's when
like
I buy
that,
them.
you know?
But
wish
I
could
actually
see
don't
through
even
the
use an
two.
Xbox
Jesus.
controller. See, I use this
Yeah. What is that one? Oh, that's
the
the Stadium?
Razer.
Oh, it looks like
Oh yeah,
Stadium.
the Razor's a good one. Yeah.
I thought you were using a Stadium
Power A.
controller.
Although I don't know why I didn't just get I was like afraid about getting the Power A because I was like, what if it breaks? So
It was like $29.
this is actually more expensive than like just getting the Design Lab controller.
I know.
That looks like if you left an Xbox controller in the water as a corpse and it just fucking got waterlogged and absorbed water. That's what that fucking thing looks
I
like.
don't like the placement of both the menu
shoulder
buttons.
Oh, the
They're like
they're
right up
way
here, and I'm like, I don't have like manly hands, so it's not like it's like a stretch.
Oh,
Yeah, the Power A controller works pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, they didn't have any. I went to Micro Center. I was just actually buying a router, and then I was like, you know what? I need a new controller.
Impulse buy.
And you know what I think it is that like well, one reason, and normally you guys know I buy every fucking controller. One reason I didn't buy the gold Xbox controller is because they got a new fucking controller coming out next month.
That's
year.
no, you didn't buy it because you're basic. You are basic. You
I'm
wouldn't
sorry.
buy a gold
I
controller.
wasn't
'cause you're
expecting
basic.
Cozy to just fucking pull up the entire goddamn bottle, just fucking
Get a
take
swig of that
swig.
before you.
I wasn't
before you
expecting
take
this.
it.
I'm sorry. That's why I put it away because I was trying to be more discreet.
It's
Sounds
okay.
like we
It all
had a
applies
swing and a
here.
miss.
And then she was like, "Whoa!" She took a sip. She was like, "Whoa!"
So no, because I put most of it in Mer Santa.
Oh shit!
Loke, how are you doing, man?
I'm fantastic.
Logan's too busy being a human.
Oh, he's a car. He's a car today.
Whoa. Okay. So, look, you have anything to say about the plethora of controllers that were available to buy this week from both PlayStation and Xbox? Anything to say?
Can
You're
barely
buying a
afford to
big-ass
buy
great
games. I can barely afford to buy games. You're
That's why
talking
you
about
don't get married
freaking
or
buying
have kids.
controllers.
Yeah, I know.
I'm good,
Hey, man.
y'all. I'm good. I play with base controllers until they break or until someone
Yeah.
gives me another one. So I'm good.
Loke?
No, I'm into like nice looking controllers. I think the Starfield controller, to this day, I say the Starfield controller is the best Xbox Series S XS controller they ever designed. So I bought that one because it looked good. But all the other ones were like, I could do this by myself. And PlayStation has the worst designs when it comes to controllers whatsoever. They just fucking put a little pink color and say, here you go. There's another controller for you. You
You
know?
go look at fucking
So-
kids finger painting and like, I like that color. Make that a fucking
Exactly.
controller.
You know, so shit. You know.
Somebody spill. No,
That's why Jim Ryan got fired.
Yeah.
That's why Jim Ryan actually got class case fired.
Controllers.
Making
Seriously.
enough controllers.
Because you can't see
Okay.
past primary colors.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, he's old age and everything like that. He has the vision problems and all that other shit. So yeah,
The
that's
thing that pisses me off
horrible.
the most about that shit is we see fan-made designs
That are
Right.
so
all
much
the time
better.
online,
Ugh.
or graphic artists like Pope that make amazing fucking designs for every console. And it's like, why has no one hired this motherfucker
I
to come
think
up with designs
I
for
The
think
shit?
Pope has made some before. I don't know
the
which
fan made
ones, but-
PlayStation 2 like Spider-Man stuff was so much better, and I was like, ew, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Actually,
the thing is this.
people have been hiring Pope to do stuff, but it's usually
yeah.
limited run and yeah.
I just wish. Can we go back to the time when they made good like limited designs?
Yeah, like
I miss
remember
that.
back in the day with the an N64, they released a clear
Yeah,
console,
the clear
and then
purple.
and the same thing with the Xbox OG. They released a clear green for the Halo
For
anniversary.
Master
So,
Chief.
yeah.
Xbox
So-
One and Nintendo 3DS were the last time I was like, dang, console designs are supreme.
And
like
after that, go ahead.
yeah.
you were saying?
No, after that they fell off a cliff. Like I literally, my first Xbox ever. Like I was not an Xbox person. I was like a PlayStation person. The first Xbox I got was the Gears 5 Xbox because I was like, dang, this is a really nice looking console.
But I mean, not, like when these consoles were first announced, when it was a Series X, and when the PlayStation 5 were announced, I was looking at it, I'm like, wow, they've made this very customizable, and I really thought that we were going to get some impressive looking consoles as well. Now, yeah, the Halo console
PlayStation gave us goddamn removable plates and did fucking nothing
shit
with
with
them.
And they sued the company that was actually doing something with it, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, all of us saw the removable plates. We're like, oh, dude, they're totally going to sell plates. Oh, there's totally going to be special edition plates. Dude, we've got what, Spider-Man? That's the only special edition console game plate, and then a couple regular colors. It's like, who made the decision to not capitalize, especially because like fans are like, yes, we will give you money for these things. We have money to give you for these things, and they're like, nah.
It makes me want to fuck with people and have somebody spray paint my plates to look like Starfield plates and put them on there. And
I'll
take
spray
pictures.
paint your plates.
Yeah.
There's people who'll do all kinds of custom shit on like Etsy. Just fucking
Yeah.
Like, but it's annoying because I miss like when companies just make custom equipment. Like, can we talk? I always want to talk about how it was such a missed opportunity that they never had a limited Series S just for Grounded.
Just for Grounded, a Series S for Grounded. Yeah, I can see where that would work. Actually, that would be actually
A small console
right.
Just no.
for a small game.
No.
for all three people that played it.
Okay, yeah. I'm with
Wait,
Soup on
what?
that one.
I know a lot of
Grounded
people
is-
that played
Grounded
Grounded
is
even
actually
before
very
launch.
Grounded
popular.
actually.
Ground is
yeah,
actually
Grounded-
pretty popular.
Yeah. It depends on
Grounded
the,
is like Sea of Thieves. I don't understand how they have so many people playing it.
No.
makes
Hear me out. So if you play Grounded, you understand exactly how many hours you can log in that game. Also, how crazy the game can get. Like, for example, I am stuck building a mansion in Grounded, but I need everyone to also get on the game because we were like committing genocide against some termites, and now we've got retaliation against. They were like retaliating against us, so I can't just go and like continue to build the mansion I was building. I have to wait for everyone to come back to the game so that we don't have to. So I don't have to like because I'm like I can't take all these termites. Like the same thing when we committed genocide, we basically were like killing a bunch of baby spiders. No, we were like one time it happened. We were just like
been a while since I played it, but that's
the heck out of these. We were burning the hell out of these baby
thing
spiders.
they added to where like if you kill enough of a certain creature, they'll start raiding your base.
We were killing all. We did it with termites and we did it with baby spiders. And then the spiders attacked us. 'cause we
Killing
killed
all our
all
women and
the
children.
spiders.
Judge.
Destroy them.
Yeah, the retaliation. So yeah, but so like then if you understand that, then you understand how people get so much time in Grounded because
The bottom line
just get
is
stuck trying to
there's
build.
almost no excuse to not have limited edition consoles or controllers for exclusive games or first party.
Exactly.
Like, there's no reason not to. And if you're worried about them not selling it, then don't make it a limited run. I guarantee you're going to sell all of the ones that you make. Like, there's no
Exactly.
reason not to fucking do it.
But don't you want your Go Xbox controller instead of a cool Redfall controller? Redfall was a terrible example.
Those Redfall controls are actually
Man.
really good, though.
Yeah, the Redfall actually also even was the Forza Horizon
Was the
controller
controller
was really
better than
nice.
the game?
No.
Two
So-
games that the controllers were better than the actual game.
You didn't even play it because everyone knows you prefer Metal Gear Solid because you don't actually have to play anything.
Oh God, I was trying to stop that word from being said today, but unfortunately, it just comes
Like-
out.
Gear?
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Three words.
I'm Loke, and I'm gonna talk about other games when I watch Metal Gear Solid, and it's my favorite thing in the universe.
Hey, Metal Gear Solid's good, okay?
All right, well, let's keep going.
At
so
least
our
you can't
next-
blame me for bringing up
Yeah, this time
the
it's not your
greatest
fault.
gaming franchise in the world.
I
It's
can
not
hear
Gaming,
Loke-
an incorrect
I
way
can
to
hear
describe
Loke
it.
punching puppies in the face in the background. And just whimpers.
Okay, so a couple of games were announced, or a couple of games were reviewed this week. The smaller of the two was Assassin's Creed Mirage, and the ratings, Metacritic score currently is a 77. General consensus is that it is a good true to form back to the old OG Assassin's Creed, but the story is lacking. The character development is kind of meh, and yeah, but generally speaking, the mechanics of the game are well lauded because they are going back to the original Assassin's Creed stuff. But the story, they said, it was not that compelling, and it's a pretty short experience. I think the runtime for the main mission is about 15 hours. I think 30 hours total to complete everything. So
To me, that's not
anyway-
short. That's a good sweet spot for me.
That's
for,
that's a good length. I don't
Well,
understand how people want these
$50
fucking
or
games that
something?
are 70 bajillion years long.
Yeah, it is
Yeah, well,
50.
compared to like Odyssey and
yeah, but people
Valhalla and all
complained
that,
those were
yeah.
too long.
Dude,
So I
th-
mean,
those
you
were
know.
too way long. Those was like 100 plus fucking hours. Nobody has time for that no
Yeah.
more. You know. At least I
And the
don't.
thing is, it was all padded shit anyway. It wasn't like you had all that time, and it was like the game
With
just continued to
different
get better.
content.
It got to a point where you're just doing the same shit, and it's just you need to keep doing the same shit
different
to get to the end of
locations.
the game. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it became just repetitive, padded bullshit. The game didn't need to be anywhere near as long as it was.
Why are you guys complaining about Assassin's Creed? Like at this point, you should know exactly what you're getting. It's like
No, that's
complaining
the
about
point. They
going to
changed up
McDonald's.
stuff. That's the point. This is not what you've been getting for the last 10
Yeah,
years.
we're complaining about the new formula versus
The
the
new
OG
formula is the old
It's
formula.
the old formula. That's true.
It's kind
No.
of you know what this shit
I-
reminds me of. You know what this shit reminds me of. Remember back in the day they released New Coke, and then it was like, oh, okay, this shit's crap. So they released Coca-Cola Classic, and everyone fucking it flew off the goddamn shelves. Yeah. So it's the same
Yeah.
thing. They released Odyssey, and then they released Valhalla. Everyone had a backlash, and then they released the original, which is like basically
Yes!
what they were releasing. So,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, from my understanding, the newer ones are still doing pretty well. It's just you do have the people like, damn, I kind of want to
Fun
not have
fact:
to spend 50 to 100 hours to
Valhalla,
beat the game.
Valhalla
The
is
problem
the
is,
highest selling
Um,
Assassin's Creed game of all time. That's a fun fact.
Yeah.
the problem is people get crazy about this, but Ubisoft has not released a new game in a long time.
This is
They
true.
they just
That's
rehash all the things that work. They have like literally a checklist of things that work.
they
I feel
just-
like
they just
I feel
released
like
what's it
somewhere they have
called?
like a
Fucking,
checklist of things that work,
That,
and then
that
they're like,
Gods and Monsters game, what, like a year ago, 2 years ago?
It was like
Well,
yeah,
that was basically
Phoenix
a
Rising.
reskin of no, but Phoenix Rising. That was a reskin
Phoenix
of
Rising.
Valhalla. That was like a reskin of Valhalla. I hate to say that.
Oh, I
it was
can't play
basically-
Phoenix
everybody
Rising
was
though.
saying
I
it's a
can't play
reskin of
Phoenix
Zelda.
Rising though.
because of
So,
those poor accessibility controls.
yeah, pretty much.
See, yeah, then it's a garbage game. No accessibility equals.
I
Garbage
can't
game.
fly that fucking bird to save my life. Okay, I'm just saying.
Chill. But yeah, I mean, in all
Ubisoft is
77.
trash and doesn't care about accessibility.
Well, okay, so Cerebral, you said earlier that you did play this. Do you agree that? Do you think would your personal score have been higher or lower than the meta score?
I probably at this. I mean, I'm not all that far into the game, but so far I would put it in the 85 or so far.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, my biggest issue is some of the accessibility issues, so I have to downgrade it for that. But that's a personal thing that most people who do reviews don't look into. They don't care. because it doesn't
which
affect
is
them.
unfortunate.
So yeah. And it's something I've been pushing back against either. I don't know if you follow Seasoned Gaming Ains. He actually does mention accessibility in his games, but it's because if I read one of his reviews and there's nothing on it, I message him. I go, "Hey, dude, you forgot something," you know.
Well,
and he'll go
just
back
like
and he'll go back and add stuff because he is trying to do better. He is actively trying to do better.
Accessibility is also a weird thing because, like, even if you like use accessibility features, you might not need some of the others, so you might not actively think about them. Like I need captions.
Yeah, that's the
No,
problem.
but see-
There's so many
And I need them to be a
disabilities
certain size.
and different
So-
disabilities are going to require different solutions for the
But
disability.
see, I do
and
that.
It's hard to fit everybody.
No, well, it can be, but when I look at a game, I look at all the accessibility, be it hard of hearing, sight impaired, whatever, and I can look at the options and go, okay, this may or may not work. Does it have colorblind mode? I don't use it, but I can see if it's there or not. Does
But
it
the thing is,
have
But like
button
Cozy,
remapping?
Cozy,
What?
you know this because you have more experience with game dev, but is it really so complicated to implement accessibility in most games? Because
it's
It's
got to
not.
be
these
there from the
games don't have
got to be there from the beginning. It's got to be
It's
in
not.
their initial
okay.
plan.
Okay, so for me, the thing is, we already have an industry standard of monetization. No one is sitting there bitching about, oh, it's so difficult to figure out how to monetize our game. They all figured it out. They all will figure how to monetize the game with
Oh, yeah.
microtransactions. Okay, so if there's an industry standard for that, why is there no industry standard for
Do you
accessibility?
understand? Disability is always no one gives a care. No one
Yeah,
cares.
no one
No
gives a
one
fuck
cares.
about
It's
us.
that's always the problem. There's not profit in it, so no one just thinks about disability. But
well,
really, implementing stuff is surprisingly not hard.
well, also I think also might be something to the effect of like, okay,
I
if
just
you're looking
wanted
at
you to
indie
say
games-
that out loud, Cozy. That's what I believe, but I just wanted you to say it. Sorry,
Well,
Wise, go ahead.
No, but I also think that it also depends on the size of the game. Like indie developers, they historically do not put a lot of accessibilities in their
They
game.
do,
because it's
actually.
just-
That's
they-
actually where
do?
the accessibility features tend to lead is indie devs because
Huh.
they don't have they don't have to answer to a checklist. So a lot,
Oh.
and that's what I'm saying. It is easy as an indie dev that like accessibility is actually surprised. I was surprised at how easy it was. I was expecting it
Okay.
to go into it and find it difficult.
Okay, I've actually, I've interviewed some indie devs for part of 3 or 4 GQ TV, and honestly, a lot of times their answer is, "We honestly just didn't think about it," because
Yes,
they're not used to being in that mindset.
that is the biggest thing.
It's not a
Is
difficulty.
big
It's not a
people
it's not an
don't think about
implementation
people with
difficulty
disabilities.
thing.
I think for me it's easy because I have visual impairment, so it's easy for me to be like, well, automatically start thinking about like ways in which people can't interact with things. But if you don't have any of those things, you're not necessarily going to be like, oh, what ways do people have trouble interacting with things?
By the way, as far as checklist goes, Microsoft does have an accessibility checklist. that
Yes,
they go
I've
with
gone through all
games.
their stuff. That's how I know how easy it is because I assumed it was hard at first.
Oh,
and I
well,
went through all their stuff
okay.
to know.
Some of it, like I said, it has to be in there from the game's DNA. Some of it is hard to tack on later. Just especially some of the motor control stuff for me. But yeah, the visual stuff, the hard of hearing stuff, some of that stuff, yeah, all that, subtitles can be added later, captions can, but they do that without thinking about it because games have had that for decades, but even High on Life had captions and stuff for the main dialogue, but if you watch the movie inside the game, it didn't have captions.
Yes.
And part of the fun of that game was watching the movies inside the game. But
Yeah,
if you were deaf, you had no idea what was going on.
Yep.
Yeah, what was the movie in that fucking game? I forgot what it was.
There were a couple. There were 4 movies actually.
Tammy
One
and
of
the
them
T-Rex.
was that one.
Yes.
Which is hilarious.
I used to rent that from Blockbuster all the time. That's how I know that movie.
and yeah, there were a total of 4 movies in that game. And none of them were captioned once they were playing inside the game.
Well, as we were talking about earlier, Cerebral, like, in today's society, in today's gaming environment, there's really no reason for them not to give us full mapping options for our controllers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something easy that they can implement. And so I can only imagine, like, if they're not even implementing that, the most basic of things, why, like, yeah, I could see why they would
give a
probably do
fuck.
that.
They're
They should
just
be,
trying to
yeah.
they're just trying to make money, and they're not going to
They're trying to
fucking
make a
waste
big quick
time
buck. Yeah.
or energy on that shit if it's not going to change the bottom line for them.
But
Like, if it really affected the bottom line, they would.
But the thing is, our demographic as being one kind of disabled or another is growing daily. And you may not need it now, but you may need it later, as some people have found out.
Well,
Disability is
hang
the
on,
only
hang on.
demographic anyone can get into.
I want to tell you a story real quick. One of the guys that gave me shit when I talked about Elden Ring not having accessibility, he said, it doesn't need accessibility. They have to make it to their. He had a stroke. I'm not laughing at the stroke, but now he's championing accessibility because he can't play the fucking games.
Yeah, you know what I say to people like that? I'm like, it's just, it doesn't matter. Then fucking boot up a fucking game and mirror the fucking controls and try playing that game with mirrored controls and see how fucking hard that shit is. It's just as hard for people to have fucking physical disabilities. They have to fucking learn how to do shit.
I've always had visual impairment, but the first time I really thought about visual disability in terms of other people was when I was in 5th grade, and I was like, and we went to middle school after that, and there was one guy, and he used a walker, and I was like, see you next year, last day, and he was like, no, he had to go to the special school because the normal school wasn't. The normal school didn't have accessibility features. Like, they had, like, only stairs, no elevators, no ramps, and I just remember being like, that doesn't seem right. And that was like the first time it clicked in my head that why aren't we making sure that people can just access things?
Well, I'm on the flip side of that. When I went from 3rd grade to 4th grade, from quote special school to regular school, I was actually one of the first people mainstreamed.
Did you fail out of 4th grade? Did you fail out of 4th grade?
No, actually, what triggered it was they wanted to hold me back in 3rd grade.
Knows what a gas giant is.
Yes. Yes.
What do you mean I can't land on it? Well, I thought every planet was accessible.
The gas giant is the booty hole.
But you can fly through. You can fly through. A gas giant shows picture of a nebula with the ship flying through said nebula.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, one day I'm gonna get King Crash on this show, and I'm gonna have all you guys say.
Please don't. Please don't.
I've lost so many brain cells going through the process of muting people. I don't want to have to deal with it.
Okay, but Wize, when you say that, okay, what is the objective? Because
the objective.
Okay.
It's a shit show. Yeah, we're just. And
then you're gonna start cursing at me, and then are you gonna come find me?
We never finished talking about what was going on with Cerebral Paul.
What is the benefit? What is the benefit of this interaction? Oh, nothing. This is a net negative for the time that I have on this planet. Okay, sure. Let's do that.
No, tell us how you really feel about the whole situation.
He really feels we should be spending all our time on Medicare. That's what he really feels.
Cerebro, go ahead. Finish your story about 4th grade.
No, that's what I was just saying. I was actually one of the in the mid 70s. I was one of the first people mainstreamed into regular school. And yes, they did have to do things like build a ramp for the science building for junior high and stuff like that.
As they should.
So it seems weird for me that because you're much younger than me, that they weren't able to do that. And I don't know where you went to school or whatever.
Did you go to? I live in a smaller area.
But so it seems weird to me that it went the other way around, because mainstreaming was a big, is still, they try to mainstream as much as they can.
Well, the thing with accessibility is this, right? There's no reason they should not be putting this in all their games across the board, because not everyone is disabled in the sense that they need all these accessibility, but some people will use certain aspects of it. Like, for example, like me, I try to put the captions to almost the largest extent because I have problems at night. Because at night I don't want to wear my glasses with my game.
Oh, look at me! I don't want to wear my glasses. I'm so disabled.
No, because it's like. No, it's not. I'm not saying I'm disabled.
Actually, real quick, I pointed that out on every show I'm on when we're talking about people with disabilities. that
Mhm.
all of you who wear glasses, whether you admit it or not, you actually fall under that
I wear glasses.
flag for gaming. You are a
Got it.
disabled gamer.
Oh no,
Right.
I agree.
No, I'm
100%.
saying you do, but I'm saying a lot of people who realize glasses
No.
are some a normal part of society that people don't think about it that way.
I don't have 20/20 vision, even with glasses.
Well,
So-
I'm yeah, I know. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about in general.
But
People
yeah.
who wear
I think a lot of it's like, and I think that's what the conversation about disability is so like frustrating, because people write off the disabilities that they don't. People, it's like basically it doesn't bother me. The whole entire disability
So
conversation
I'm not
is
gonna
like
discuss
it doesn't
it.
bother me.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem.
the worst side of it is, well, we don't need to have those options in there because like we don't need to have easy mode. We don't need to have this. We don't. It's like if you don't want to
Yeah.
use it, don't use it. Nobody's saying you have to use it. Nobody's forcing you to use these options. They
Cozy.
are just that.
Yes.
Cozy, remember last week? I don't remember who said it. Maybe it was the guest. It was like, I don't care about V Bucks in Fortnite going up because I don't play Fortnite. And I was trying to explain that just
Yes.
because something doesn't affect you directly does not mean you shouldn't point it out when something is wrong.
Yeah.
This is exactly the type of situation. Even if you have no disability, it's wrong. So we have to all point it out.
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
that's
we're-
also a case of empathy, like in a discovering like that, like, because I always remember being really empathetic to people and discovering that a lot of people just can't understand like things that don't affect them. Like,
There's a lot of
Wow.
people that are empathetic to people with disabilities or whatever their ailments and shit are, but the thing is, unless they actually have experienced it firsthand, sometimes they just don't realize to the extent at which even the simplest things are difficult for someone with a disability. They're like, oh, I had no idea. Well, it's like, yeah, this is shit you just don't think about. And nobody thinks about this shit until they are in a position where they have to deal with it on a daily basis.
so I've
It just
never
is what
had
it is.
I've never had the issue with like motor control. I've never had that issue. I have great fine motor control. And
But
the thing is,
when
I
you're
always
50 or 60,
understand-
you might not. But when you're 50 or
Yes, and
60, you may not.
I
So-
understand that aspect of it, Paul, but I've never understood not being concerned about like the world around me and other people having issues with motor control.
Well, look, like I've always been empathetic to people, and when I was younger, my mom is an RN. She worked at a place where it was a lot of people that had issues or had muscular dystrophy, or were children that were drowned and revived, but that had oxygen not going to the brain for so long, they were kind of brain dead when they were brought back. And I would hang out with them on the weekends. My mom would bring me there, so I had empathy for these people, but I still didn't think of the world in the way that they have to interact with it. And it wasn't until I had my motorcycle accident in 2014 that made me a paraplegic. I'm like, holy shit, I never thought about any of this stuff. And it wasn't that I wasn't empathetic before. It's just that I didn't think about it.
I mean,
Mm.
I get not thinking about it, but I'm just always I
Well-
get not that people don't think about it, but it's something that I've always thought about. Like, I guess maybe because it was only discovered because I basically just started failing school, that how visually impaired I was. And that was like but the time is like, I always thought about the kids that couldn't like join in what we were doing because it required they were in like a wheelchair or they were in like they had a walker. I always thought about those kids like, well, we should make sure that they're having fun too. And I guess the thing is, I understand people who don't have that mindset, but I've always had that mindset. Like, what about those people?
Well, as gaming has spread across and has become more inclusive, I think that it is incumbent upon these developers who are making these games to think about that not all gamers are approaching these games in the same light. I mean, it's a matter of comfort. I mean, games are getting bigger day by day. 15 hours is, on average, is a short game these days, but it is 15 hours of your life. And if the developer is asking us to spend 15 hours plus playing their games, they need to make it so that it's the most comfortable experience for all of us, for all gamers, irrespective of anything, and that's just being, cognizant of your fellow man or fellow woman, that, hey, not everyone has 20/20 vision. Not everyone has fine motor skills or gross motor skills. How would they apply? How would they approach it? So I think that is just incumbent upon the industry to do it. And I don't think there needs to be a financial reward because of it. This is just being a decent member of society, if you will.
Right.
So,
But we're
By the
talking
way,
about corporations and shit.
Yeah.
They don't care.
because
they really don't.
I've called on other shows where we've discussed it. I've called Microsoft out on some of the recent releases that have fallen way short of my ability to play them, and went, "Hey, what the hell?" But
That's not
Well-
right. I think the best way to play games is however you want to play them.
Well, speaking of which, let's go to the next game that was reviewed this week was Forza Motorsports. Got an 85, and of course there was a shit show on Twitter because there's always a shit show on X Twitter.
Forza is trash.
Oh wow!
no, stop.
It is
You know,
not.
some people were
No.
complaining that the graphics, of course, IGN, of course, lambasted this and this, of course, because IGN is clickbaity these days, and they basically said,
IGN USA. IGN USA.
Yeah, IGN USA. So they showed pictures of Forza next to Gran Turismo, and then they're like, "Oh, that's not exactly the correct images because these images didn't have this." Then they showed more images, and then the games looked better than Gran Turismo, and there was still a shit show of people playing. I don't know. Anyhow, this game got an 85. Gran Turismo got an 87, and like, of course, there's a console war. Kids that are going to sit there and bicker because they have nothing better to do with their 2 brain cells.
Yeah,
Two
I love
points.
the
Two
one
fucking
I
points.
saw that the 85 and they called it a bomb. They said it bombed. I'm like, okay, no game bombed for the 85. Fuck that.
85 is a fucking great score. I tell you, like, that's a fucking, if you get a B plus on a test, you'd be like, fuck
Right.
yeah, dude, I got a B plus on that shit.
Exactly.
Unless you had one of those parents, you get a B plus. They go, "What is your fucking problem? You get a B plus on this
Fucking
shit."
Asian or Indian parents.
Exactly. Hey, what are you trying to say?
How you
That's
be
true, though.
doctor with B
Yeah,
plus?
you bring
Life
F.
was
Why
rough
you
for
bring B?
Wize.
Why
Life
no
was
A?
rough
No
for
A?
Wize.
Yeah. I do it with my kids. Why you not bring A? You play game all
Oh my
time.
God.
Why you not bring A?
Oh.
You bring B. Nobody bring B in house.
We're all done for here.
Listen. Let me go in here first real quick. Wise, this game is an 85, Assassin's Creed 77. I don't understand people talking about Metacritic scores that seriously. Like, we talk about Metacritic scores, but we are also cognizant of the fact that most of these scores are not most of them, but a lot of these scores are not representative of the actual
of them.
product. All right, like I'm still playing the crap out of the WRC Generations. If you go online, if you go on YouTube right now and you start looking up reviews for WRC Generations from anyone that isn't like GameSpot or all these sites, it's people praising it like to the high heavens. One of the best rally games of all time. Variations of not only tracks but also vehicles, handling, customization, etc. But this game is like a 70 something on Metacritic. Assassin's
think
Creed Mirage.
The number also shouldn't matter as much as the things being said, right? Like, it's like, what are they actually talking about in the reviews? What are the
Yep.
good and the bads of the game? Because one person will be like, "Oh, game was great, but had a bug, 7 out of 10." Another person will be like, "Oh, game was great, but it had this bug, 8 out of 10." And it's like, well, what was the difference in the 1 point? It's just this guy
Well,
gave it a
here-
7, this guy gave it 8, and it's the same fucking game. So
Well,
Yeah.
well, it's
what
interesting you
matters
say
more is
that.
what are they saying?
But here's
Um,
the interesting thing.
so,
Interesting- you're saying
The thing is,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm,
we actually already discussed this on TWSW. A lot of these are you have to accept the fact that a lot of people have very low literacy rates and
Mhm.
comprehension rates,
Mhm.
so they need to be told something is good or great.
Well, what is good or
If-
great?
if
I
you
mean,
need-
like
if
for
you need
some,
someone else to dictate what you should or should not buy or validate your personal purchase decisions, then you got fucking way bigger problems.
I mean, but that's the reality.
well, I mean,
when
the dichotomy is that, like, for example, Assassin's Creed got a 77, and people are saying, "Oh my god, it's great, it's true to form, blah blah blah," and Forza here's got an 85. And people, "Oh my god, it's shit, it's crap."
Well, it depends on like
yeah, but
what's-
who's
which crowd
people,
is
right?
saying that.
Mirage
like,
is multiplat, so you're
Yeah.
getting more reasonable discussion surrounding the game.
Yeah.
Forza is exclusive, So all the fucking shit you're hearing is console war shit versus actual people discussing the fucking game.
Yeah,
But
and
here's an interesting topic, though. One more thing, though, and Triple, I'll let you chime in.
okay.
So Gran Turismo was reviewed before they released their bevy of microtransactions, whereas Forza, this is the game that you get. I mean, you can buy the like pre-release like $40 and like they did with Starfield and get that earlier, but it's pretty much the same game, and there's no microtransactions. So people are saying, well, if Gran Turismo came out with microtransactions, then the score would have been lower, actually. So
Not true.
So truth in that, Loke says it's not true, but what do y'all think about that
I mean,
theory?
it depends on the reviewer and how much they weigh the microtransactions and how much they affect the game. I haven't played it myself, so I can't answer that question.
I haven't,
but I'm sure for some people they knew it was egregious. And
Racing games are always mid.
Yeah.
Cozy, don't start.
Yeah.
It's mid compared to it's mid compared to Metal Gear Solid, right?
No, it's mid compared to
Metal Gear
Forza
Survive.
Horizon.
Oh yeah, no, I'm joking.
Forza
I mean, like
Horizon.
compared to the other iterations of it, then people probably would say it is lackluster because I've heard that it's missing features that were present in other games. So I can understand that perspective of saying it's worse than previous entries, but
I also if there's one genre, no, go ahead, my bad.
No, I was gonna say this: the back and forth between Gran Turismo and Forza, like if it's coming from the console warrior perspective, like don't give it energy because you're not having a genuine comparison. You're just like, haha, this looks bad, or it's not. It's points that you're not really trying to describe to someone who's genuine. Like, which one should I play, Gran Turismo, Forza? You're not being genuine to answer that question. It's just one-up points that you can have on Twitter or some shit. That's what
it's my box is better than your box.
Yeah,
that comes down to.
The racing genre is just my least favorite genre to see comparisons for because they always look the fucking same. Like I always tell people, fucking, if you took the prompts off the goddamn screenshot, and I just showed you a picture of the car on the track and said, "Is that Forza or Gran Turismo?" Bet your fucking salary for the year.
I can't.
You'd be like, I'm not taking that fucking bet. Like they look the guy.
I play these games, and I'm not taking that bet.
You don't play
each other, right? Like one comes out this year, and then another one comes out a year and a half, 2 years later. It's going to leapfrog the last one. Of course, the newer one's going to look better. Then when this one comes out 2 years later, then that one's going to look better. It's always the same shit. And the thing is, at the end of the day, it's fucking cars, guys. They look like fucking cars, and it looks like fucking roads.
And they've been looking photorealistic for a couple of generations now. I mean, like, how much more do they gonna do with this shit?
You guys don't even play games, so why are you
environments that gets better? That's it. And then now,
you're State of Decay player?
I'm playing.
Why aren't you playing State of Decay with me?
I just started.
Wait, you just started State of Decay for the first time ever?
No, I've had this save file for a while, but it's been on the back burner.
Did you get someone? Did you get Jessica, who used to be a preschool teacher and like collecting dollhouses? Did you get her killed, and then you felt bad about it, so you stopped playing for like a year?
Correct.
I can't say I relate to that. That is very oddly specific, actually.
Because have you not read the biographies of the State of Decay people? And then they rub it in your face by keeping their tombstone in the background when you're selecting a character to play.
Okay. No, I have not done
Wow.
that. No.
Oh, no.
You sound like you have some trauma from this game.
Yes, because like when the people
tell us where the bad State of Decay touched you, please.
State of Decay will
like
touch you in your feels. It touches you in your feels I'm not even making this up. Not only is it one of the greatest games because of how they continually update it to change the game, but you're wrong. You just don't understand the glory of State of Decay. But my other big thing about State of Decay...
I'm sorry, bullshit on that one. I'm sorry, I got to call bullshit.
So I say this as someone who didn't really have an Xbox, so I didn't really experience the games, and one of my favorites ended up being State of Decay.
Oh my God. Okay.
But the thing is, I don't like horror games. I don't like zombie games. And State of Decay is like the exception. I just love State of Decay. But also, if you read the backgrounds of the characters, they have like stuff in their background, and like I had someone who was like a preschool teacher and like dollhouses, not even making it up. Just like you find random backgrounds, and I accidentally got her killed because I overestimated what she could do, and she literally got the Juggernaut picked her up and was just like slamming her on the ground like that. Like, and
She's
I'm
a
just like
preschool
watching the
teacher,
entire
Cozy.
time,
Preschool
like just them
teacher, yeah.
slamming her on the
Oh
ground
my
like
God.
that.
Hey man, you
And
guys
I was
never
just
watch
like-
Stop
those
listening to all
animes
the
where the
woke
teacher's
media.
like,
Hey,
Cozy.
listen.
You need to stop it. All right.
If it's the fucking zombie apocalypse, I would have fed that bitch to that juggernaut. I'd be like, take this bitch, and I would have ran the other direction. Well, rolled the other direction.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
It's like we should run. We can't outrun that.
She
No, I
was
just gotta
so
outrun you.
good. She was good. She actually had great cardio, great
She's definitely
shots, and
outrunning
everything.
What?
I just happened
Preschool
to.
teacher.
I literally. It was my
Till
fault
she
because
pulls
I
that
was playing.
hamstring.
No, I was playing as another character, and I led a juggernaut back to our
And Charlotte
base.
Norris running away from the
And
zombie.
she was like,
I got
"I
a
got
cramp.
this."
I got a cramp. I'm gonna
And
break my
then the
hip.
juggernaut just picked her up and just like slammed her, just kept slamming her until she died.
What
The
color was
juggernaut
her
bitch.
hair, Cozy?
That's what she's saying. Yeah.
What color
It was
was
just like
her hair?
brunette.
Eat a banana.
Oh, it wasn't purple.
So her hair didn't change color when her skull cracked open. Cool.
I was
Yeah,
too
that's American
traumatized by the
bluntness,
entire
man.
incident.
That's real.
I was.
That's
I just literally was
hair
like,
change.
What was her name? I'm curious. What was her name?
I don't actually. Her name was like something
Cunt.
basic, like Rebecca
Her
or
name
something
was
like that.
Gold
Karen.
Star Gibbon Susan.
Karen.
Karen,
I still
don't do
call
Oh my
it
that.
God, how do you remember her whole life, but you don't remember her name?
Because they, no. So if you
Right.
play State of Decay, everyone has like a name and then like a nickname. So like you get used to their nickname.
You just told
Okay,
us
so
what
what was her nickname?
Their fucking family members.
Her
color
nickname
her
was like
dog was?
Car or something like that.
That's a shitty
Huh?
nickname. She
Oh,
deserves
God.
to die.
Car.
Wise,
Her nickname
Wise.
was fucking-
Let's get
yes.
back to the topics. This is
Yeah,
too much.
so
This is
Y'all
too
didn't
much.
play State of Decay, so you
we're
don't
just
understand.
swords
So we're
and-
2 hours in, and let's finish the intros. Okay, so I'm just.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, we're not gonna do
Okay.
it. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Okay, so
Mm.
small little news. PlayStation Portal is doing.
I mean, I
well,
didn't
recently.
have my intro done anyway, so.
Well, PlayStation Portal is gonna be great. Y'all are some losers who don't understand the gloriousness of PlayStation.
Well, apparently it's selling out in
Gloriousness.
Japan, and then now here's the thing, though. People say Japan they'll buy anything, but at the same time,
With the PlayStation logo on it, yes.
well, it came into stock on Amazon not once but twice, and both times it sold out. For what
Yeah,
it's worth.
I pre-ordered one for my nephew for Christmas because I figured he'll probably enjoy. Like I
Cut the
personally have no
cap.
use for it.
Cut the
No.
cap. You bought it for yourself.
you.
You're not
No,
gonna share
no,
it.
yeah,
Just be honest, right?
I never leave the house, and I have a 75-inch TV in my bedroom. Like
We know it's for. Oh, you got 75 inches.
Again, Super. We're not gonna judge you, bro. Just be honest with us. This is a
No,
safe
look,
place.
listen,
all right?
There's
There's like 5 people watching. This is not gonna get to Twitter.
For me,
Don't worry.
And to go fuck yourselves. But no, I'm just saying that I'm contributing to the sales,
We know about your 75 inches
Even
now,
though
so
I
no need
don't-
to brag.
even though I don't have any use for it.
We have more than
Okay.
5 people watching on the back end, so yeah. I mean,
What? We have
everyone
more
can
than
know
5
now
people
Triple
watching?
bullshit.
Oh,
And that-
let me.
It was
get
a
my-
joke.
Nobody's
man.
bullshitting. Yeah, we got more than 5. Maybe 6
Too
people.
much
but-
Super, you capping. I'm sorry, Super. Cut the cap. You bought it for yourself.
You said super.
It's fine.
Excuse me, Mr.
I
Texas.
honestly,
Stop trying
like I
to
said,
say
I have
it
no use
wrong.
for it. I thought it would be
Super.
dead on fucking arrival. I thought it's fucking stupid.
Nope.
And then he bought it.
I
His ass
was
bought
sure.
it.
As soon as this thing was announced, I was sure, and I was ridiculed for it. But whatever. I was
No,
sure that this is gonna do numbers. Watch.
My main thing is I want to see like total sales and not just it's sold out, because you can
Oh, yeah,
sell
launch.
100 and you're like, oh, we're sold out. Like
Yeah.
it's only
That's
100
the
out of
thing,
like
right? Yeah,
the
where was
millions of
production?
PS5s out there, you know.
Well,
Triple combo, you're always wrong.
Well,
Yeah,
here's
I'm
the thing
okay
that
with that.
blows my fucking mind, right? They put this console up for fucking pre-order, this little device up for pre-order, and
the headsets.
then this week they announced that they released the controllers and the plates for pre-order. But where the fuck are the headphones that you need to actually listen to on crap on this device?
It doesn't have speakers.
God, nobody's gonna listen to it on those little puny ass speakers that they're gonna come with.
I'm
It has
just like,
speakers.
imagine-
What do you know about
Why
speakers?
the-
You don't know how
what the-
speakers work.
It's a puny speaker. What do you mean I don't know how to fucking puny?
You
If the
don't know how it
speaker's
works.
yay fucking, if it's yay fucking big, there's.
But
only
what
so
if
much
it's a
sound
good
coming out.
yay big speaker? What if it's a really yay big good speaker? Exactly.
I I'd still.
That's like
rather
saying the Switch
use-
speakers are good. Come on now.
Yeah,
I
like,
mean,
you
no,
can
no,
use
no.
them if
The
you're
Switch speakers aren't
stranded
good
on,
because
like,
they're
an
not
island
tight.
or
They're
something like
tiny. They're not good because it's a Nintendo device. That's different.
Okay. This is a PlayStation device, and therefore it's going to be a good speaker, right?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
It's a
now.
Sony
I-
device.
I mean,
Don't
Sony
forget,
does
They,
make-
they have
Sony
good
makes
speakers,
some of
good
the best
cameras.
sound.
Sony
Yeah,
has good
sound
speakers,
is
good
for them.
cameras.
Bullshit. You
Yeah,
gotta
but that
have a
doesn't mean it's
soundbite
gonna
with
matter. That doesn't fucking mean that it's gonna end up on the goddamn device, you know.
But
Shit,
it doesn't
they
mean
gotta
it's not
have-
good in the device. We just have to
at
wait
that
and
price
see.
point, no fucking way.
There's no
Yes.
fucking. It's a $200
Yes.
The damn screen probably cost them that much.
Yes,
Not at that fucking
I
price
will
point.
literally. I bet you a punch in the dick that it will.
What? If you lose, Cozy,
question,
what's
you're-
going to happen
okay.
if you lose?
I'll take that bet. I won't
Hold
feel that
on.
shit anyway.
Hold on. I want to know, guys. Wait a fucking minute. Cozy, if you lose,
If I lose,
Who's
then you don't
getting
get a punch
punched?
in. No, if I lose, you don't get punched in the dick.
No, you get punched in the
okay
pussy.
then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No, no, no.
That's
It's a
where I
dick
was
punch.
going.
It's a dick punch. That's the only thing that
Just
counts.
That's all.
fucking lube my fucking forearm up. You're going elbow deep.
What? Okay. Moving on.
No.
Wasted
Fucking
was
hit,
wise.
I'm gonna hit that shit with a fucking short
Wasted with Wise now streaming only on
Don't forget the
OnlyFans.
twist, Super. Don't forget the twist.
Right? Oh no, it's getting the twist.
Shit.
Oh,
Okay, we got
Jesus
one guy
Christ.
twisting his nipples and one person wanting to hit somebody in the nuts. Okay, good. Okay, this is
Super's
a very
only
productive
a
show.
sheet of
You know, so,
plywood.
yeah. No, but I got this device, and the main reason I got this device is because I like being able to watch something else on TV while I'm playing my game handheld. And some of the games that I play, like for example, Baldur's Gate, they tend to lend themselves well to this game. Now, will I play a game like a Soulsborne game on this device? Hell, fucking no. But I'll definitely play like Baldur's Gate or some of this more indie games.
Gate.
Yeah, I'm just more intellectually evolved than you are. So
No,
don't
I'm
hate,
sorry.
you know,
No.
What do you mean by
You're so
High
fucking
fantasy is the most
you a troglodyte.
basic genre you could ever come up with. Like, basically, it's like everyone who makes a game is like, you know what? We need another high fantasy game. It's like solely uncreative,
as opposed to
Wait,
another
did you
fucking
say
whatever.
zombie
Baldur's
game
Gate
with
is basic?
What?
Are you saying Baldur's Gate 3 is basic, or are you saying
Yeah.
the concept and the universe?
No,
in
no,
The
no,
itself
concept
wait,
of the
wait.
universe is basic.
No,
Okay.
this is coming from a person who's talking about State of Decay and knows everything about her character except her fucking name. So yeah, there goes there.
No. State of Decay, what makes it great is if you are someone who
Nothing.
just simply likes to loot, like me, like I will only play multiplayer games with other people, let them do all the killing, and I'm just like running around looting and
So
grabbing
you
shit.
contribute nothing to the group.
Yeah, exactly. I'm that person.
Yeah.
So, State of Decay,
Post-apocalyptic has
Like
not
that.
been done before, right? Post-apocalyptic zombie games have not been done before. This is a new one, right?
not
So, there you go.
post-apocalyptic zombie games, but basically a
Oh, come
post-apocalyptic
on,
zombie. But
Wise.
the
By
highlight
your
is
logic,
the highlight
logic,
is
Wise.
looting
then
and
Baldur's
community
Gate is shit.
management. It's
Come on.
looting
Group's
and
her
community
group's
management
getting
is the
mangled
highlight.
by zombies. She's in a fucking bedroom. Like, I'll take this.
Like literally, that's all I do in State of Decay is like loot and like community management. It's like basically it scratches that same itch as Sims.
Oh, okay. So that's more involved. Oh, I
Just
apologize.
Play a Bethesda RPG.
Bethesda makes crap games. Thank you very much.
If all you
What?
want to do is loot, then Bethesda RPGs are the games.
I'm
for
actually
you.
joking because yes, people are like, "Well, how do you have so much time in Starfield?" And I'm like, "Because I run around just stealing everything
Because
and
I
like
steal
selling it.
everything.
Like
Is that a half
literally,
inch
And then
stick
you're
of butter?
over in combat.
Literally. I just literally just steal everything, craft items
Oh.
out of the stuff I steal, and the stuff I don't
yeah,
need, I just sell.
I do the same
But-
thing because you know what? That plate is that vendor will give me 2 shekels for that
But
plate.
I'm like, but
I'm
why is
gonna
it
get
so
the 2
fun? But why is it so fun? I don't
Because
understand. Why
because
is it
you're
so
It's
fun?
closet case
your inner
kleptomaniac.
klepto. It's your inner
Yeah,
klepto.
it's a closet case kleptomaniac. That's the problem. You know, you can't do it in real life, so you can do it. On a
But no.
virtual life.
So really, I don't like high fantasy. So that any game that's like high fantasy, I'm like, ew, yeah, I'll stay away from.
Yeah, you stick with your zombie survival horrors because you know that is an underrepresented.
Especially
No, no.
the buggy ones.
No, what reference is like space RPGs are an underrepresented genre.
Oh,
That's
okay.
true.
Well,
That is true. That
That's
is
true.
absolutely true.
space RPGs are
Yeah.
underrepresented.
And why don't we have more
Yeah, think about it.
fantasy?
Think
Why don't we
about
have
it,
more
Wise.
urban fantasy? Why don't we have more urban fantasy? More fantasy that isn't just like inspired by D&D and Lord of the Rings. Like those are if you're inspired by those two things, I'm like literally already like I don't
What
care.
the fuck is urban fantasy?
Oh, it's like modern fantasy, like Dresden Files, Jim Butcher, that kind of thing.
You mean sci-fi?
No, it's fantasy.
Oh, but
it's not fantasy
and
and like some olden timey like what you call it. It's like
Did you say
modern.
oldie timey?
Yeah, oldie timey.
Well, I mean, this actually brings up a pretty interesting point about like PlayStation's motivation of doing this, right? And everyone is saying that this is PlayStation sort of tipping its toes into portability more and more. And here's an interesting thing that people have been mentioning that needs to be said. So with the Xbox leaks that came out, Xbox did announce their next generation, not their necessarily next generation, but their mid-gen refresh. And the mid-gen refresh, where'd it go? Where'd that little fucking console go? Their mid-gen refresh is strictly oh god dang it, fucking WCCF. I don't want to buy your goddamn thing.
It's a cylinder without a disk drive.
Yeah, that little Brooklyn thing that they got. So it doesn't have a disk drive, and this is a big deal because people are saying that this is Xbox. If one thing Xbox is guilty of, it is being sometimes too ahead of the curve, if you will. Everyone says
real quick before you go, is this an official announcement from them, or is this based on the leaks and the rumors that came out?
The leaks and the rumors. I mean, like, okay, so
these are hardware. The leaks were from Microsoft.
But that doesn't mean okay.
Fruition doesn't mean fruition.
No, okay, but you could change.
They were in discussion, but you said Microsoft announced. They didn't announce shit.
Well, they didn't announce it, but unofficially they did in a way.
No, that doesn't mean fruition. That means just it's plans.
They're in discussion. They're planning.
It's probably more than discussion. It's Cerebral. I mean, if this is
no, I don't. They all the companies do this. Sony has all this kind of paperwork too.
But like
you can't say it's official or they announced anything because they didn't.
But Cerebral, it's hardware. They can't just come up with.
And on top of the actual hardware leaking, we had leaked schedules for the releases of the hardware when the hardware would launch, and this is pretty like down the road type shit. They don't just like make this shit out of sticky notes in the very beginning, and then
I know, but I'm saying, but by putting words like
you're right.
More.
You're right.
Yeah, all I'm saying is don't give it more of an official sound than it should have.
Yeah, you're right.
According to the leaks that were made.
Unofficially.
Do you understand what I'm saying, though? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I totally understand. But if the leaks are to be believed.
Okay, well how about this? In a hypothetical world where that is the next console, continue.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So yeah, in a hypothetical world, if that's the next console, it's without a hard drive. I mean, without a disk drive, and that's a big deal because. I mean, Xbox has been, you can say a lot of things about Xbox, but you could say that they've sort of been a little bit ahead of the curve. As much as everyone hated the Xbox One with the announcement of always online and all that other crap, everything that they've said came into fruition. I mean, Xbox was, of course, they were not the first people to introduce, to make like multiplayer gaming or online gaming.
But what they want sometimes, yes.
But they were the first one to mainstream with Xbox Live gaming with online gaming. Okay, they were so sometimes they're a little bit too ahead of the curve, if you will, and maybe this is also one of those things that they're trying to maybe test to see if a all digital future is even possible.
I think they know that because looking at the sales, that's where everything's trending. Every year the percentage of gamers that are digital versus physical grows exponentially. They know that's where it's going. Also, if they don't have to fucking press discs, dude, they're saving money. Everybody wants to go that route. It's better for them.
Yeah, I mean,
by the way, this announcement or leak, whatever you want to call it, they didn't say they weren't going to do our disk-based drive still. They just said this was going to be one of the next things that they work on.
This is true.
This thing's going to have 2 terabytes instead of 1, and
if that's the physical design and they do a hard drive on the side, I think that's stupid. That'll be like how they did it with the HD DVD player for the 360, where it was like a separate piece that you put on top of the other piece and you just stacked it. Dude, it was so dumb.
But if rumors are to be believed, PlayStation's doing the same thing though.
Yeah,
right. But the way
PlayStation's doing
PlayStation
a
would do it
detachable
is
hard
that
drive.
it would attach to the existing hardware and be one unit. It's just it pops off and pops on versus a separate thing that sits next to the other thing.
But we don't
You know
know
what
if
I'm
it
saying?
attaches. We just know that it's sold separately. We don't know if it actually attaches to the actual console. We know that it's going to be sold separately. That's all we know.
Possibly. The verbiage we've been hearing though is detachable. Detachable hard drive is the verbiage. I mean, who knows what the fuck it's going to be until we see it. So, but yeah.
Right.
But I mean here's the thing: we've known for a long time. People will talk about like my physical media. Gotta clutch onto it, like for my dear life. I mean, especially amongst Xbox, that has been like. I remember it was it 2016 or 17? They were already like at like 80% of people who bought games were digital, like higher than anyone else. It was like, and I haven't seen like the updated results, but I assume like it's probably even higher now. But
you got to think we're in a world where everyone has streaming services. No one's buying the movies anymore. They just watch Netflix.
It's not even just a streaming thing. It's just
no, but my point is that thing has brought that type of lifestyle into everyone's lives, where it's the convenience of not having to go and buy a fucking thing. I can rent it here. It's $3.99, and I rent it for or I can get it. I can purchase it digitally for $25, and here it's in my digital library. I don't have to go to the fucking store and buy it. My kids can't scratch it. I can't lose it, and it's just the convenience. And let's be honest, we're fucking lazy as a species.
No, but you will.
We're lazy.
No, we're
scared.
We are efficient. We're not lazy. Super.
But the scary thing is that you could lose it. Like for example, Nintendo announced this week that they're
100%.
shutting down the Wii U and the 3DS. Yeah. And
why are you buying? Why are you buying Nintendo games digitally though?
Well, I'm not saying I'm buying it. I'm just saying people do buy it for their 3DS and the Wii U, and now they don't have access to the games that they bought.
The 3DS was mostly physical. Was largely physical.
Growing up as a kid, my dad owned a video rental business like most of my life as a kid, and we always had lots of movies. And at one point, around when Blu-rays were out for a few years, the collection of movies that my parents had was like 2,500 movies. It's fucking an insane fucking number. And then anytime you had to move that many fucking movies, pay in the ass. And anytime you wanted to find a movie, to fucking look for the movie, pay in the ass. And like we were all about collecting shit. But now we just don't give a fuck, because if we want to find a movie or watch a movie, there's a way to do it without having to deal with the physical media. And it's just that's the way everything is going.
But you see, with movies and with streaming, you can stream it on any device. It doesn't matter if you have if you're watching it on a Samsung TV or if you're watching
isn't that what Xbox is doing?
Well, no, because Xbox is they're still tying you to their platform, but you can't play like an Xbox game on a PlayStation. So it's not like
well, no,
you have that change.
No, but you can't. You can't play it on your TV. But you can play it on your TV.
But it's one company gatekeeping all of those games for.
But here's the thing. They're not even like, for example, when you talk about the Nintendo closing down like the 3DS and Wii U store, I don't need those stores.
I just don't see
current consoles.
I don't see a console as being ahead of the curve. I mean, when was the last time they made a laptop with a disc drive in it?
Exactly.
Like this has been where
the weird thing with
I'm a bit confused on the whole store thing.
There are people who will make sure
you said they moved
this
the
stuff
store
existed.
or something like that.
Oh no! The 3DS and Wii U store are closing down, but are closed down. They already closed down. They're closing down the old line.
But none of that's the big concern, right?
It was very shady how
switch one day and you lose all your shit. That's always going to
No. The problem is that's not so you get two different audiences, and I think that's the problem. One audience is like, I don't even think about that. That's not even a concern. Another audience is saying, well, you get three different audiences. Another audience is saying, this is a big deal. The third audience is saying, we've already solved this. I am part of the. We've already solved this.
How did you solve it? How do you
she puts on a fucking eye patch and her fucking peg leg, and she sails the goddamn high.
Yes, exactly. We've already solved this.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
thing
that's
that's
not
kind of
legitimate.
because, as you guys were alluding to earlier, the digital and the physical sales are shifting so close towards in digital direction. When I see people like, not don't misunderstand me in the sense of, like, I understand wanting physical, but people speak as if physical is like at the majority, and we're like, oh, we're introducing all digital console. You know, most of you guys only use physical. Like, that's not the case today. And them going towards an all digital Series X, like, the numbers enforce them doing that. Like, if we wanted to keep physical around, then more people would be using physical media, but that's not the case. So it's,
But
I understand it, but it's how
But the
many
interesting
people.
thing about all this is this, though, right? They will, if this next gen, this mid gen comes out. I mean, I'll presume they're going to keep the current Xbox Series X available for a brief
For a
amount of
set
time,
time, yeah.
for a set time. But then once they phase that one out, what do you do? Like,
Well, here's the
do
here's the
you
thing,
have
Wise.
access?
Of the two consoles that they currently sell, the two SKUs, which is the one that sells the most?
Well, that's because it's
Series.
cheaper. The Series S.
Regardless, it's the one that sells the most. Does it have a disk drive?
No, it does not have a disk drive.
So
Because most
I mean,
people who are buying the Series S is not our demographic.
But so what's changing for them?
No, but if it was such a like an important aspect of a console, then people would take that into consideration and invest more in the X. But that's not what's happening.
That's not true either.
Not
Because
even
money.
like,
Go
like I
ahead.
said, not even investing more into the more expensive console. Just look at what's selling the most. We still have consoles that, or this last generation, for example, no console was all digital. As far as I could tell, did they have like an all digital 1S or something? But at the start of
they did.
PS4 and the
Remember the
Xbox One
Xbox One
generation,
sad?
and
Don't you remember
yeah,
the Xbox
there we
One
go.
sad?
But
Yeah.
that wasn't the most selling. When we look at the highest selling platform, which was PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, digital is still selling the most, even when the disc drive is available. So that just shows where the industry is going, as in terms of, it's not even a price thing, it's not even the power thing. It's
Yeah,
just
but at least they gave you the option. Here, they're removing the total option of you even doing.
yeah,
physical
and the
versus-
reason behind that is because they see what most people are buying towards.
Because
So-
I think they know, even the people that are all about, oh, my physical media, my collection, I'm a retro gamer and I want this fucking collection to grow. If the next generation of
still
Xbox
gonna
comes
buy
out
it.
and it doesn't have a disc drive, and this is the only place you're going to be able to play the new Forza, the new Halo, the new this, those people are going to buy it to play the games, even if it's now all digital. They're going to force those people to transition, even if they don't want to, because the people still want to play the games.
But you see, one thing that also bothers me is the nefarious ways that they do things. Like, for example, when Nintendo said they're going to shut down the 3DS and the Wii U store, they didn't make a big announcement about it. They didn't say anything. It was a small tweet on
It's
a
always
Friday
blog
night.
post.
Probably because of the numbers.
PlayStation does the same thing.
It doesn't matter if
Right.
the numbers are small.
Microsoft,
But
same thing.
but are you implying though that it's nefarious to release an all digital next gen or mid gen refresh Xbox?
I honestly, so here's the thing: as someone who I was a PlayStation person and moved more towards PC and then Xbox.
I'll pray for you tonight.
What?
I'll pray for you.
I'll pray for you.
The thing about like Microsoft versus like PlayStation and Nintendo is Microsoft has a good infrastructure.
Okay, so what happens in, let's just say in 2028 when they release their next console or whatever, and it's
Wait, I thought
all-
Microsoft was ending in 2027.
Well, let's
It
see.
is.
Assume they don't end in 2027 and they actually come in or are around in 2028, right? And they release a console that is strictly digital. What do I do with all the games that I bought for my Xbox Series
You
X?
hold on to your
and S?
Series X.
If they're not compatible, if they're not backwards compatible.
Oh, they're backward compatible, but I got a disc.
You just
I
don't have a disc.
Where am I
If,
gonna-
You hold
if
on
you
to
don't want to be
your
all digital, we
Series
have a
X.
console for you. It's called the old.
Oh my
Xbox.
god!
No, I mean, like
Don't
in this
mess with
situation,
2.0.
like if your concern is I can't play my older games, it's like hold on to
That's some
your
good
older
shit.
system, and it's not the equivalent of like no backwards compatibility altogether, to where even your digital and your physical library aren't playable. It's just like if you want the disc drive, hold on to the console with the disc drive, but if you have a digital library, you can still bring it with you.
So I have to hold on to my lesser system, even though I
Yes.
want to get the newer
Yes.
system, and that doesn't.
Yeah.
Listen,
Like especially
if-
in this generation, like if you start this Series X, and you're like, I'm going to keep building up my physical library, seeing where things are going. Like, part of me can't help but think like that's kind of
Why are
on
you
you for
betting
investing
against the
so much
market,
in
bro?
physical. Yeah, like
Right.
You're betting against the market. You're going to
Yeah.
lose. Everyone's telling you you're going to lose. You keep betting against the market. When you lose, you're pissed off.
So basically, we have to sort of take this for
Yeah, you gotta,
whether we like it or
Uh,
not.
The problem is you have these companies looking at graphs and charts that says all our people want digital. And then you'll have the small people that are like, but no, we want physical. And they're like, that's not what you cocksuckers told us last year. The chart says you guys want digital. And that's what you're going to get. And if you don't like it, tough shit, because the new generations coming up, they don't know physical. They've grown up and were born into a digital world. They don't give a shit. And so,
And
hey,
like Super said,
you're going to die in 10 years. Not, God forbid, but they're like you're going to die in 10 years.
The average. Wise, like Super said before, this is not just like a gaming thing. This is everywhere. Your laptops don't come with disk drives anymore. Your antivirus, when you buy,
but
it
my
just gives you freaking codes. What's happening is
you're an old man yelling at the cloud.
Everything that has to do with technology, everything, Wise, everything that can be digitized is being digitized. And when that happens, the market reinforces the digitization of these products by engaging aggressively. We're not just buying into the cloud, dude. We are eating that shit. We are devouring it.
The vast majority.
We prefer Spotify to buying CDs, vinyls, or whatever. We prefer Apple TV or Netflix or whatever over physical media. We are making these. We are reinforcing the idea that digital is not the future; it is now. So when you talk about we need to try and make a shift or a change, or what about the guy with physical, dude? The change is not just in gaming. This is like an avalanche. There's no going back.
But the problem with everything else that you talk about in the games that we play are, number one, everything else. Like, for example, I have a MacBook. I can go and download Adobe off of Adobe's website, and they don't say, "Oh, you got a MacBook, you can't do Adobe." It's only PC only. That's the thing. I mean, with these games, if I'm going to play an Xbox game, the only console I can play it on is my Xbox. And if Xbox is not willing to give me the option of like at least putting in a disc and having it read, then it's Xbox who's hamstringing my gaming.
No. Xbox made a deal with you, Wise. Xbox made a deal with you that if you buy this Starfield game, you'll be able to play it on the Series X. The deal is not for the next Xbox.
And PC.
I just don't understand how it changes, because either you're digital and you can only play your game and your Xbox digitally, or PC or your phone or whatever, or you're physical and you can still only play your game on those things. Like, it's the place you
the
can
thing
play.
is, no, Xbox games
also even if you're quote physical, the game isn't on that disc you have there, Wise.
I know it's not on my disc.
How many games have a day one patch that if you put that disc in, it ain't fucking booting up?
But also with Xbox, so as someone who plays on PC a lot, Xbox games almost always like the even if you're buying the Xbox version, you can play it on PC.
Bro, Wise, we live in a world where even buying physical, you don't get physical. You buy a collector's edition of a game. Here's a fucking steel case with no goddamn disc.
You guys remember when 76 came out and they gave you?
You don't know anything about games. Do you remember when games came out?
Cozy, you play Warframe. We spoke about this last time. You play Warframe. Your opinion.
Warframe is glorious. You just don't know
Warframe and State of Decay. That's fucking two strikes.
Just because I'm a real gamer and not a fake gamer like you.
Sure.
Well, here's another aspect of it, right? So people are saying, well, because I was watching this show, not a show, but this YouTube, this guy saying that maybe the whole situation is this: we are reaching a point of diminishing returns when it comes to graphic fidelity. So with the way that these game publishers want us to be always immersed in our games, maybe now, since basically there is no need for a physical media, what is preventing these console makers to make consoles that are more portable in nature, a la like the Switch, where something that you can have a device that plays remotely, and also you can tether it to something and it goes on your big screen TV as well. So maybe instead of trying to going down the road of more set-top boxes that are more and more powerful, maybe trying to make a set-top box, but that's also mobile as well, and try to, basically power more those mobile chips as opposed to trying to get the biggest or best chip for your set-top box. So what do y'all think about that?
I don't know that would work for Xbox and PlayStation. I know that's working great for Nintendo, but I don't know if it would work for the other two.
I also think it wouldn't work because you have too many people that are duped nowadays. Like, I know so many people that are like 4K, and yet they have like a cheap low-grade TV, but they're like, but 4K.
Yeah.
And so you have two.
Hey, you leave their high sense alone. You leave their high sense alone.
And the thing is, you're right. You're right in terms of us reaching kind of diminishing returns in terms of graphical fidelity. But the thing is, we're still going to need the extra computational power, not because we need better graphical fidelity, but because we need more power to do the computational shit for simulations, hair simulation, AI simulation, having characters when they're talking have actual musculatures in the face so that when they talk, it looks like real faces. Like all these things that require extra computational power. The graphical fidelity isn't changing. But
but you look at these mobile chips. I mean, like for example, the chip in the iPhone 15 can play Assassin's Creed Mirage. So that's a pretty beast of a chip.
Assassin's Creed Mirage.
But that's a curated. That's a curated chip that Apple designed themselves.
It's also, I have an entire conversation about how, like, can we stop with the praising of Apple for that, because that's stupid for several reasons. I say this as someone who is anyone here more like other than me buy mobile games and spend a lot of time playing mobile games?
I can't say
I play a lot of mobile games, and I'm going to tell you something. Mobile games are always going to be limited by the OS because Apple refreshes their OS, which can screw over games and regularly does, especially since it's not like Android where the APIs are tied to the software as opposed to like the software that you play on as opposed to like the actual device software. So basically, all this talk about like, oh man, look at what they can do with this game. Every iPhone game, every iOS game is one update away from being ruined.
But you still can't
but
diminish the value of the chip.
He's talking about just the straight power of the chip to be able to play.
Yeah, the chip is cool, but it's like the same thing with everything. It's like the chip is cool, but what are we doing with this? And it's the same way I feel about like
PS3.
any games. Like this is really cool. But what are we doing with this? And like there's an entire
our government built a supercomputer with the fucking PS3s.
Yeah.
It's like this entire industry of like, that's cool, but what are we doing with this? And that's like the whole industry feels like that's cool, but what are we doing with it? And no one's really talking about it.
Apple's really done it because now they don't have to go to Intel for the chips for any of their fucking laptops or desktops. They make their own chips.
They don't have to do that anymore. But the problem with Apple is they don't respect legacy. And legacy doesn't matter in like mobile, but for a lot of computation things, legacy is pretty important. And Apple basically craps all over legacy. If you want to get a system that basically can and will ruin software that you've just been running on for a long time, that you need, that may not have a newer version, that just may that be the best version of it, get the Apple version of the software. And see what happens when they update it.
Well, Mr. Eugene Elhan, I can't pronounce his last name, I apologize, says your PC is different than console. You have far more ownership over the game on the PC than console. My main issue with digital only is that the platform sets the price and have little incentive to have sales. What do y'all feel about this?
That's so only PlayStation. PlayStation is the only one that does not allow third-party sales. You could release a game on Xbox or Nintendo, and you can like sell like codes for that game wherever you want. PlayStation's the only one that doesn't allow that.
Well, but don't you think this is going to be endemic if they're all tethered to either one of the three major platform providers?
What do you mean?
Don't you think?
How? I don't get why you're thinking that what that's going to change what's happening now. Wise, I'm not seeing how things are going to change that greatly between what we're seeing now compared to what we see if they go to all digital. It's not. I mean, we're already seeing all that.
I mean, Game Pass, that's what it is.
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
up.
literally, you can no one is forbidden from selling their codes elsewhere.
No, you can go to Amazon and get digital.
PlayStation is the only one that
game,
forbids that. PlayStation is the only one that forbids you selling your what's stopping you from selling your codes on Amazon, on eBay, on like your own individual storefront? Nothing.
Yeah.
The biggest limitation as far as for all digital is the computational power that you would have to stream online and the lag and inherent problems with input that you would have to access that, and everybody's internet speeds would have to be astronomical, all of them, to be able to access things all the time like you would on your system at home and be able to have the same experience everywhere without any question.
But
and
that's
it's closing in. What?
That's assuming you're just streaming now.
Yeah, right? But what he's taught, what I think Wize is alluding to is eventually the boxes are going to go away. When the boxes go away,
that's going 100%.
But that's probably about 20 years out. That's probably about.
That is a while out. I agree with Paul.
20 years, but that's what I see. But as far as going back to something else, as far as your ownership, the biggest concern and what Nintendo's move brought up was digital ownership. That was the biggest problem. Biggest problem with that was if you compare them to Microsoft, of all the companies, I think Microsoft has had the best track record with your digital ownership and what you've purchased through the Microsoft, through their company, and how much you own of it. Like, I bought games on my 360 that then transferred over to my Xbox One that I still have access to through my Series X. Whereas Nintendo locked them per console to where your purchase, you had to buy it again on the next console and again on the next console and again. And that is, and then when they had the store still available for the Wii U and for the 3DS, you still had the availability to get those things. But they realized, well, we're letting people play on an old platform. We don't want to keep it up all the time so people can do it. And also, we want to keep making new money on a new system, not an old dead system. So now we're going to cut it off and going to make them buy it again.
Well, but this has been the lesson that Nintendo has learned since.
I know, but I fucking hate it because Microsoft has shown how it works and it works well, and it's more pro-consumer. It's the most pro-consumer, as a matter of fact, as opposed to Nintendo basically, like I said, playing the Star Wars thing again. Oh, we've released the new special edition, and now you got to buy it again on Blu-ray, and now you got to buy it again on this, instead of you owned it when you purchased it. And Microsoft did a good job. So that's kind of a benefit of how you do the digital right as opposed to doing it wrong. I think that's the best way. And that's why people were really probably most upset, because they were also, a lot of people were stuck with the legacy. Like, I still want to use my old console and I still want to get all the games I want. And I haven't been able to afford all the games I want to get. So I still want to go back and get them. And they don't want to move it to the new console. But there's another valid aspect, is that Nintendo has put a lot of games in moratorium or just hidden them and not released them at all. And so the only place you can really get them and play them are on the Wii or the Wii U store or the 3DS store, because the Switch store doesn't fucking have them. And they haven't brought them forward yet. And so and now they have a whole new model of doing it.
And don't forget, PlayStation is down the same road. I mean, you can't play any of the PS3 games on anything
Nintendo
else.
and PlayStation are kind of along the same lines in a lot of ways, not in every way, but similar. So,
but
anyway,
Nintendo allows third-party sales of their games.
Well, that's great, but it doesn't allow you to bring all of
which is funny, because they'll allow third-party sales of games, but they won't fucking put any of their goddamn games on sale.
Exactly.
But I mean, they don't have to.
Breath of the Wild's still like $70 fucking.
They don't have to. Yeah. You know why? Because if people buy your game at a price, why would you lower the price?
And that's the moral of the story for all this shit. It's like,
And
why would
that
they
is-
do
yeah,
any of
if
these
people
things?
are
They're not
willing
going to do
do
any
it,
of these things.
They're going to
Yeah.
keep doing it. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I fucking hate microtransactions, but these dumb fucks keep buying skins for shit, so they keep putting the shit in the game.
It
So
wasn't
yeah,
me,
no,
okay?
that's the thing. That's the thing. I
It
don't
wasn't
buy
you?
any of that
No,
stuff. So
fucking
like,
you,
whenever
Triple.
I'm seeing people complaining about like,
So no one asked you,
oh,
Triple. You're outing yourself
No
right
one
now.
has- Stop piping in here, goddamn.
stop buying things. Stop being like a shill.
It's Triple's fault.
I don't
Triple
buy
spent
nothing.
$1,000 last
Triple,
week on
stop
Bro,
Wize.
I
buying
wish
things.
I had $1,000.
Well,
bucks
you know,
on
you-
Fortnite.
Triple,
And
you are the
I hate the
problem.
argument. Oh, it's just cosmetic. It's
Well-
not harmful. The fuck it isn't. I don't give a shit if
Well,
it's
For the
cosmetic.
loss.
Well, it's interesting Triple says that because that's the whole point of it. Like microtransactions are going to be a part of our gaming thing for the rest of our lives.
I
Okay,
Well, they're here to
let's
stay.
call it
Okay.
let's call it spade a spade here. You know, and it's in their best.
I
interest
disagree,
to-
Wize. I disagree.
You don't think
I was terrified of
microtransactions?
No, I was terrified. I was terrified of microtransactions, but games
Then
like
they touch
Elden
you.
Ring, Baldur's Gate,
Your no-nos.
Cyberpunk,
Yeah,
a
but
whole
these
bunch of
things
these
rule
good games
Mhm.
coming out,
Boring.
and the most they'll do is give you DLC. God of War, even freaking Halo.
Mhm.
Apart from the multiplayer, you can engage with the campaign, no problem. So I'm not saying we're not going to get microtransactions. The number of games is not going to increase. No, I'm just saying that I think we can relax on ringing the alarm bells that all games are going to turn into microtransaction fests.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not saying that all games are going to be doing that, but like the games that I think the three publishers are going to be looking at are the ones that do have it because that is a continued revenue stream.
So you're
that being-
you're saying it's totally normal to put Nicki Minaj in a World War II
Call of
Oh,
Duty game.
no, don't get me wrong. I don't want to. I don't do any of that shit. I don't like any of that shit. But so my
Like,
thinking
bitch,
is
stop
that
twerking. We got tanks rolling in.
Nicki
What the
Minaj
fuck
is
is
great.
that?
they're like, well,
She's
it's not.
also great in Steven Universe.
What about Steven
Yeah.
Universe?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
They really
know.
put. They're trying to turn Call of Duty into Fortnite. Apparently, I don't know what the hell's going on over there.
Every company is trying to turn their shit into Fortnite because
Yeah.
Fortnite's a fucking printing press. That's the problem.
Well,
And
the
like we
thing is,
always say-
Fortnite it fits for what they do, but putting things like putting a rapper in a combat fighting game just doesn't make sense.
Right, but there's people
at this
bro,
point,
it's
I'm
on-
just
it's on
Unless
the-
that rapper was like Ice-T or something, you know.
At this
Yeah.
point,
Why
I'm like,
Ice-T?
it's whatever.
Why Ice-T? Yeah.
Why
What you
Ice-T?
trying
Are
to say?
you? Why Ice-T? Why
I don't know, did you
Ice-T?
hear the new
Well, because
Megadeth
he
album?
admittedly used to be a gangster, so we're okay with that.
Yes, but
He
why?
ices people.
Oh.
Because you can see him with the gun. You can see him with a gun, and it doesn't remove immersion.
He's a cop in a show or something like that.
No,
Yeah,
that's
he
Ice-T.
is. He's
He's in Law and Order.
Law and Order.
No!
Ice-T's in
that's
Law
not-
and Order, yeah.
There you go.
SVU, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Ice-T.
Yeah. Well, anybody have
Who
anything else
also
to say?
did the cop killer song?
Why? I just want to disagree with a specific point you brought up before about
Yeah,
graphics.
everything.
That we've reached the
You're
point of diminishing returns. Wize, we have not
Yes.
reached the peak of graphics in games.
Yes, we
Physics
have.
aren't there
No,
yet,
we
man.
But we've reached to a point
Oh,
where
we have.
No,
look,
no,
look,
Wize.
Look at film wise.
Well-
we have look at Avatar. All these films we've reached photorealism with this shit. The
I
only
don't
difference
know.
is they're not able to do this shit in real time. That's the problem. They have to sit there
Yeah.
and let that shit render
Yeah.
for hours and hours
Yeah.
and hours because we don't have the computational power. But as the technology gets better, the computational power gets better, and eventually this will be shit that we can do in real time.
I don't want all my games
we're
to
not
be
there
The
yet.
Last of Us with the
No, we're not
core
there yet.
creativity.
Facts.
We don't.
I
I don't
want
want
more-
every
Listen,
dev to
listen,
be reaching
listen.
for the
Well,
last.
I want
of
more
Us.
No, but
hi-fi
well,
rushes.
hold on. Triple.
Yes.
Me and you both agree on one thing about The Last of Us Part 2. It was a shit
there should
show.
not be it.
Are you talking about the remake of the remake
artistic-
of the remake that they're doing?
The remake,
No, he's
yeah, the
talking
remake
about-
of
Oh,
the
God.
He's talking the original.
Okay, let's talk about the one that released, right? The base game.
The
It
original,
was not. It was very far from what we expected. Okay,
Mhm.
in a lot of departments, but one specifically there's no challenging. All right, which is graphics.
It's fidelity. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
That game looks stupendous. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look great. It looks like a cheat code. It looks like that's not possible. All right.
Mm.
If every game that wasn't like an anime game, right, was going for some version of photorealism, if we can reach a point where every game looks like The Last of Us, looks like it, all right, not is written like it, not plays like it, looks. I'm talking about just aesthetics. If that's the flow, I'm a happy man.
Bro, I would
Well,
love
see,
a
but that's
Zelda
my saying.
game
What-
in the art style of The Last of Us.
But why not develop a chip that's mobile that can play that game?
You can, but you're gonna have to. There's gonna be things you have to take away from. Even though that iPhone can play Resident Evil 4 remake, it's not playing it to the same levels that you're doing on
Or money.
consoles or on
But
PC.
that's the
Look
current.
at
But
the price.
but Triple,
That's
you're
another
talking
thing, too.
about. But I mean, Super, you're talking about something that's now. What I'm talking about, like the next iteration, maybe 3 years from now. You.
I understand, but we're talking about a chip that just came out. They just made the fucking thing that still can't play the game better than chips that came out 6-7 years ago. Like mobile chips are always going to be behind what we have in the consoles, just because the limitation of space. Like, will we eventually get to a place where mobile chips can fucking lift cars off the ground and do all kinds of crazy shit?
Yes.
Sure, but not in our
Yes.
lifetime, bro.
Yes,
It'll get
in our
there
lifetime.
eventually. Not in our life. No fucking.
Yes,
Well,
no,
maybe
no.
yours, Cozy.
Well, not in my lifetime. Oh, fuck it. I'll be dead in 20 years probably.
No,
so, you know,
Paul,
No,
I'm going to make sure you
nobody's
stay
gonna be dead.
alive for longer.
Ain't nobody on this panel going anywhere until I tell you guys to go. So
Exactly.
shut.
All right. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Fine then. Fine then.
I'll try to.
Triple combo faker gamer.
Fake.
I'm about to close State of Decay and then install it now. Never mind.
Wait, what?
Don't worry.
Speaking of saying goodbye, it is
Be off my
8:50,
system.
and I've kept these people talking way too long. So let me go ahead and give them their out. Yeah, you people. Hashtag the 420 boys. So let me go ahead
Wait,
and do with our
420?
outros. The 420 boys, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. The leader of the 420 boys, Super. Tell us where we can find you, sir.
I don't even smoke. YouTube at
It's the
Supernova
edibles.
Gaming. I almost got fucking permanently suspended off X again. Scared the shit out of me. I had to delete a tweet. Dude, I was in Twitter jail for fucking 2.5 years until Elon bought Twitter. That's a true fucking story. But anyway. So I got permanently suspended again the other day, and I was like, holy shit. But I could delete it. So anyway, Supernova
Stop
Gaming
with the
on
dick
YouTube.
pics, man.
Hey, listen, the women want them. They get what they ask for. PSN is Supernova Gaming. Xbox is Real Supernova. And then it's Gaming Supernova for X. And then here every Friday, and like I always say, as long as I still have a job.
Well, you always have a job here. I'm not paying you for shit, but yeah, it's cool.
We're pro bono.
Exactly. The vice.
What you work for a boner? What?
He's pro boner.
Oh, yeah, you're boner.
He's pro boner.
Professional
The
boner.
vice.
If you're not working for boners, you are not living life.
Oh, yeah. All the boners.
What are y'all saying?
That's
right
enough,
now?
Cozy.
We playing ring toss up in this bitch. That's what I'm saying.
Wait,
The
how does
I
lieutenant-
still do lawn darts, so that's just me.
long darts.
Lawn darts. Naked lawn darts. That really makes it
Mhm.
makes it a little scary. Keep going.
Well, all right. So the lieutenant of the 420 boys, Cerebral. Tell us where we can find you, sir.
You can find me on Twitter. I don't get suspended, even though I talk shit about Elon Musk all the time. At Cerebral Paul 1. You can find me on Twitch at Cerebral Paul. You can find me on Xbox Ambassador channel on Tuesday afternoons, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. This Tuesday, I will be playing. If you're around and you're not working or you just want to play, I'll be playing Forza, and you can join me. And then on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, you can find me on 4GQ TV. And Fridays, you can find me here. And I forgot Tuesdays, you can also find me on the Retro Renegades on Tuesday night.
Cool.
He may be
The-
disabled, but he is a goddamn busy man.
Yes.
Hardest
Oh,
working man on YouTube.
Carlos got me being real busy too because we're going to do interviews based on books that people have written. Guess who gets to read all the books in the next 2 weeks?
We already know you can't read, Paul.
Actually, I'm a very good reader. I've been reading since
No,
I was
Cozy,
like
you
5
can't
years
read
old,
because of your
so.
your fucked up guy.
I
so that
burn
you can read.
books. I don't need to
shit.
read.
You
Oh,
burn
no.
books? Wow.
I just picture her
Uh,
stepping.
They love her. They love her in Florida. They love her in
Cozy
Florida.
Yeah.
stepping around her bedroom.
I'm on here every Friday until Cozy gets our ass kicked off, and
Yeah. Right.
The pastor of the 420 boys, Loke. Tell us where we can find you, sir.
The pastor.
Austin.
Before I say it, Red Dead Redemption 2 Ultimate Edition is $30
That's still too
on
much.
PSN.
What?
Remnant 2 Ultimate Edition is $55 on PSN. You can
I
find
just
me
bought it
on
Steam.
Enjoy, bro. Great game. You can find me on TSWS Gaming on Tuesdays and Fridays. I'm on Twitter. Don't follow me.
Don't follow you on Twitter
real life?
or in real life.
In real life.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you feeling stalked or something there?
I was like, hey, you can find me here, but don't follow me. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
getting two
Stay away
different
from me.
signals here. Like, which one is it?
Yeah. Next time I return to Texas, I'll look for you. Yeah. So.
Oh my lord.
The 420 boys diplomat. Darth Praxis. Tell us where we can find you.
fucking, I told you. I ain't telling you again. No, it's here every Friday. If you want to go to Twitter, you can fucking go there. I'm at Praxis Darth, and in Xbox, fuck you. I don't play with you there. But if you want to, it's Darth Praxis. So good luck.
Okay, the guy keeping all of us in order. The guy who is the cop of the 420 boys. Triple Combo Gaming. How you doing? Not how you doing, but where can we find you?
Why am I the cop? Like, I don't know.
Pork.
You
Anyway,
keep everyone
because
corralled
you're a
together, that's
snitch.
what.
You
I
are a
don't-
snitch,
I
Triple.
don't snitch, man. Snitches
Yeah.
get stitches, okay?
That's
I
right.
know where
Yeah.
I come from. Anyway, yeah, you can find me
Hey,
on.
he's wearing a wire.
You can find me on Twitter. You
Are you
Get
a
his
cop?
ass, get his ass.
You gotta tell me if you're a cop. Are you a cop?
I'm not a cop, man.
I know
You're a
you
fucking
have
cop.
to. You have to
That's-
actually.
You're a
You have
cop.
to say it.
Oh no! I'm trying to do my outro, guys.
We
Oh
kick
shit,
you
my base
in
is
the
getting
shins
attacked.
because
You guys,
you
my
kick
base is
cocks
getting
in the
attacked. Hold up.
shins.
No, but you can find me. You can find me on the YouTubes and the Twitters at Triple Combo Gaming, and you can find me here every Friday at six. Mostly every Friday. Let me step back a bit. And you can find me streaming Tuesday and Thursday at 6 Eastern time. I'm playing Liza P and get my ass destroyed. So if you want to see that live, you can.
No.
I'm making my way through the game, so I'm getting good in the process. So I'm still getting destroyed.
So you're saying Pinocchio is destroying your ass, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what that nose do?
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
Why does it sound like someone's sitting at a fucking kitchen box?
He's sitting bareback on
You
Pinocchio's
know the
ass,
funny
saying,
thing
"Find
is,
me,
like
damn
the
it,
whole
find me."
line mechanic is in the game, but the nose extension isn't, except for the load screen. His nose extends for the load
Oh, I
bar.
bet you want that nose expansion.
I bet
Yeah,
there's
they
another
Oh my
attach
God.
that nose to some other part of his body. I'm sorry.
And
They
that was
don't
the,
get offended.
Sitting there saying, "Lie to me, lie to me."
You should see what his you should see what his puppet arm can do. You should see what his puppet arm can do. You see some different abilities on that thing, you know.
It's like that. It's like that Family Guy skit where fucking Geppetto's trying to get Pinocchio to lie to make his nose grow.
The 420s boys tech coordinator Jim, tell us where we can find you, sir.
Twitter somewhere on Earth.
Christ.
Ow! Holy crap!
What was that?
It was him asserting his dominance.
That was a microphone cracking.
That was
Jim
him being
escaping
like
from the
somewhere on
fucking
Earth,
shadow realm.
obviously. Wink, wink.
Yeah. Somewhere on Earth, maybe. And,
But Jim, you need to jump in more and argue more with these cunts.
well, give me
What?
something to argue with them on.
Well, you're gonna have
We're
to
It doesn't
gonna-
matter.
Hold
Just
your end.
fucking
We're gonna have like
basics.
we're gonna create a gym segment or something like that, and
Yeah.
you know, have you
Just attack Cerebral. He says some vile shit anyways. Nobody cares, you know. So there you go.
Who cares?
All right.
Oh my god.
Kiss my ass, camel jockey. Oh, I'm sorry.
And the
I mean,
first
we
lady.
got to get him out of the wheelchair first, right? To do that.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and,
it's a power chair.
That's right.
Easy enough
We'll
to
never
disable.
get monetized. We'll never
That's
get
easy enough to
monetized.
turn off.
and last but not least, the first lady of the 504 boys, Cozy Beluga. Tell us where we can find you.
You can find me on Twitter
My
as
ear.
Cozy Beluga. You can find me all places at Cozy Beluga. But I'm particularly, stroll the mean streets of Twitter. I am available on Fridays on with you guys and with Loke on Bull Sitting.
Appreciate
Yes, WS Gaming.
Yes.
She's like, what's
And
that?
then on Sunday, you can find me 4GQ TV's Majestic Mayhem on Sunday night at 9 p.m. I do all those things. Also, I have a Twitter.
What do you
Ignoring
guys
the
talk
zombies
about
that
on
lose the
Majestic
house.
Mayhem?
We talk about this week. We're going to be discussing I think top 3 horror.
Ooh.
Okay.
We're
She
gonna be talking about
knows
horse.
more about her State of Decay character than she does about the show that she's going to be on.
Yeah.
The only correct answer is Stephen King's
It's because
The
I always
Thing,
do a
John
random
Carpenter's The
catch up where I make a long list of things, and I'm like, here's my list. But yeah, it's always pretty exciting. We basically we discuss in Majestic Mayhem, it's centered around we have a discussion and we talk about our top 3 of whatever, but we always get derailed and talk about things get derailed.
This place.
It's a
Like
bunch
every other
of
show.
cackling hands.
Like
It's a
every
bunch
other
of
show.
I will
cackling hands.
derail you, Paul.
Oh my goodness.
And also, before we leave, I want to thank
Joke that
everybody who
was set
showed
up.
up on the chat. Everyone who showed up in the chat, RPG88, Eugene, FU Tube, and
Well, F you too, right?
F you too. F all of you.
Beautiful fuckers.
And good Lord, Hungry Diablo, Cannabis Guardian. I love the name. It's
wow.
pretty big. And yeah, wow, impressive name.
That's what
Guys,
she said.
there will.
It's gonna make up for something.
And I am, as always, the Wizel Gamer with a Z. You can follow me on Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo with a Wizel Gamer with a Z. For the guy who is copying my channel or copying my Twitter handle, how pathetic is your life? I mean, I don't know.
Hey, that
Yeah,
means you made it, man. You
Yeah,
made it. You
that-
got
is that a real
some
thing?
parody. Yeah.
Yeah, I
we
do.
don't like
He has an ass.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
I have
It's
no
a real thing.
freaking idea. Don't know why. Anyhow, so yeah, next week there will not be a show. I will be in New York, so there will
What?
not be a show.
You're going
next-
to New
yeah.
York?
Yeah,
All
I have
right.
relatives I got to meet up and stuff like
Oh,
that.
look at
So
me, I'm
we're
going to New York, and I'm gonna pretend like I'm a cool dude.
We're
Well,
at
no,
man, in
actually,
New
No,
York.
they're gonna know he's from Alabama. They're just gonna give him shit the whole time. So yeah.
Oh, spreading the news. I'm
Hey,
leaving
dude, I've been
today.
all jokes aside, I've been wanting a slice of New York's pizza, New York style pizza for about 6 months now. I've been
The
craving
best
it.
New York style pizza I ever got was in Philly. And I don't remember the place because I was at a convention. I was super drunk.
We
And
used to
I was
have a
walking down the
fucking
street
award-winning restaurant
and it
for
was just
that
like
shit.
this random pizza window. And it was just like $5. And I got like 4 slices. And I was just
Were you
like
drunk?
shoving in my it was a con. Of course
Yeah,
course.
so we can't go off that then because
No, that's true.
anytime you're
No,
drunk,
no,
it's
no.
the best food ever.
No, that's not true. I've literally turned down food after tasting it because I was drunk. And I was like, yes.
That's the best chimichanga I ever had. We're in
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Chimichangas are not never good. Chimichangas
Well, no,
are
no,
Oh
pizza,
no,
I would say
a good
that-
chimichanga is awesome.
No.
A good chimichanga is
A good-
awesome.
A pizza is good as a hangover food because when it comes up, it tastes just as nice. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, that's horrible.
Watermelon's the same way.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you're gonna puke anyways. I mean, you're gonna have a fucking hangover. You're gonna
Wait,
puke
wait, wait.
anyways,
It's
so,
it's
whatever
it's
you
good
eat
food
is
because
good.
it's carbs
The
to
goal-
absorb the alcohol.
The goal is if you induce, you don't have to worry about that at all anyway.
ah,
Oh god, I don't induce. I just have it induced for me. So
No, you
there
gotta
go.
induce. You induce, you don't get the hangover or anything. You're just like, you know what?
welcome to bulimia with Wize. Okay.
No, it's different from that because you recognize you've had too much to drink, so you're just like, you know what?
Oh,
I should
shit.
probably purge before I go to sleep.
Purge.
Good God, no.
Oh God, we're gonna, and on that shit, no, we're gonna go ahead and end the show for
In the
tonight,
show.
guys.
In the show.
Yes,
Yeah,
please,
close
yes.
it down.
You can remember, you can be anywhere, but you've not been anywhere until you first been wasted with Wize. Have a great night, everybody, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Woohoo!